think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles. Body work,
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing today, man? It's Friday, man. We're gonna have another fun time. You know, Cookie Monster. Salute Cookie Monster. Body Work. Definitely appreciate you. But it's a fun evening. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have anything to do. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Houston, we have Takeoff. Sounding great. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cookie Monster. You know I need those microphone checkers. But it's Friday, man. You know it's an interesting day for many reasons. You know, I'm just gonna when you support, you know, what they like today, then you support it, you know. So we'll have a little fun today, you know, have a little topic, a little, you know, cool little topic that we can get into and have some fun with and see what happens. Let me see something here. Let's see something here. Make sure that's out here in case anybody would like to jump on. See, the co-pilot is here.
Is my avatar showing?
AC.
What's good, bro? Is my avatar showing, or are we having that same technical issue?
Yep, you showing up good. It's crystal. Right, cool. Okay. That's what's up. Right. What's up, man? Good evening, man.
Good evening to you, bro. This should be a good cook right here.
Yep. I wasn't gonna break form, man. I still got a little bit of housekeeping, man,
yeah,
before we
sure.
really get into it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into it.
For sure. You know, I'll be like you got the desk with the microphone and everything, the little coffee cup that says Body Work Boxing. You know, I'm the guy that sits on the couch by the side and wait for the monologue.
Let me get into it, man. Feel free to chime in on this one, man. Whenever, you know what I'm saying, like usual, but this is just a couple little things, man, real quick. Let's see. The first one, Bruce Carrington and Ray Ford. So Bruce Shushu Carrington and Ray Savage Ford frustrated and need fights. And I found that so interesting because I watched one interview. I was glad to see Shushu. I was glad to see Shushu there. Salute Smoke. I'm glad to see Shushu, you know, getting some airtime and being interviewed. I do like Shushu's style and everything. I did like his last couple fights, especially when he showed he went in there and he wasn't playing with his food. He kind of got a chip on his shoulder now, and I was kind of wondering what was going on with him, you know, in the grand scheme of things. Because if you're not an A-lister and you're a B-lister, you know, you're kind of like on shaky ground, especially with, you know, Top Rank navigating his way and going wherever it's going. I'm sure they know and they have a plan, because they're not just gonna let all that money go. They're not gonna just let all that talent go. But we don't know as outsiders looking in. All we can do is speculate, do our homework, try to follow the bouncing ball all along. And he was expressing some frustration. And I do agree, because Shushu is one of those guys that I would typically be doing pieces on when everybody else is doing pieces on somebody else. Just because he's one of them guys, like blue collar guy, you know, coming from up there in that same region where MOP is from, you know, Mike Tyson and them from. It get real gutter up there. And, you know, hearing the backdrop of his brother, you always kind of, you know, it always kind of tug on the heartstrings when you look at the stories of somebody like Shushu and what he's gone through and how he is, especially as a person. You know what I'm saying? Bright guy, full of personality. He got a switch that he can flip when he get inside that ring. And so, you know, I do be concerned about some of these guys and what they're going to do and will they find their way and things like that. You know, typical life of the boxer stuff. So I was kind of feeling his frustration when he was saying that a lot of the opponents, whenever he's faced with somebody, because we do this as fans, we'll say, oh man, we don't want that. Because I found myself, and I caught myself. I found myself when Kambosos was getting ready to fight Richardson Hitchens that last time, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to see Kambosos. Now for me, that's personally just a knock on Kambosos. But then I sat back and looked. I said, hold on, man, he deserved a name. He deserved to be able to see and showcase what he can do and all that. And he wound up stopping him to the body. So I started changing my way. I said, hold on, man, if these other guys are doing it, we just seen Schofield do it with a Tevin Farmer after he went through the ringer. You know, and he, you know, he get to have that exciting knockout, you know, after Tevin just went to war with Raymond Moritaia and then twice, where he arguably beat Zepeda the first time and then went to war the second time and got beat. And then, you know, getting older and having all that layoff in that time and being the old vet going through with all these young, hungry lions. So I kind of caught myself. So I kind of feel Shushu's frustrations in the fact that when he's faced with somebody, they say, who is this guy and all that? You know, it's just, that's more of a matter of them wanting to step you up and lock you in with a name that wants to fight you, because you are risky. You are pretty much the definition of high risk, low reward at this point, you know. And so if the dollars don't make sense and somebody looking ahead to get a title, they're going to look past you. So it's going to be kind of hard to match you up, especially if they're not sure if you're ready or not. So I felt his frustration, and I was like, yeah, because he said the same thing about an opponent that got matched up with Ray Vargas right after that. And everybody was saying that was a great fight. This is a great fight. And I was like, that's exactly how they do it, especially for that culture that he would talk about. And this is the point that I be trying to make as far as like conversations. See, they'll pit us up against each other and have us going to war and beating each other up and tearing each other down, right? But then when their fighters fight, they'll get behind and support them. Like, no matter if I'll give you an example, no matter how much I believe to this present day that Isaac Pitbull Pinata Cruz is a pinata, he's still gonna get a shot. Yeah, he's a fucking pinata at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's a tough out and all that, but he's a fucking pinata. His people gonna get behind him. It's we want Cruz and all that. He's gonna keep getting fights and they're gonna love him. Rain, sleet, or snow. You know what I'm saying? Win, lose, or draw. They're gonna stand behind him. Us, somebody, any kind of controversy, we ready to kick the shit out of our people and just kick them out the whip, and you know what I'm saying? Whatever. That's just how we are. So I understand his frustration. Then I listened to Ray Ford right after that, and I said, man, he was looking frustrated. He was like, listen, I felt disrespected, and he didn't really want to say much. And I understand because he signed to Eddie. And this is my forewarning to, like, with the piece I did yesterday on Richardson Hitchens. This is my forewarning. It's like, when you working with certain people, you don't have the liberty. It's freedom of speech, but you say the wrong thing if you want to, and see what happened to you. And so he was talking about, you know, the disrespect he felt when it was Abraham Nova, and then he was basically saying that he didn't want to fight Kakashi. And for me, I'm like, man, you need to fight Kakashi because Kakashi is the one who actually stopped Joe Cordina, and Joe Cordina was in line to jump up and fight Shakur Stevenson, and we gave Shakur a lot of backlash because he was bringing a guy up after all of the backlash that somebody else got for bringing a guy up. But this guy was coming off of a stoppage loss to a guy named Kakashi. And so Kakashi was rumored to be getting ready to fight Ray Ford. The fight fell through, and Ray is like, I'm not fighting him. Now, me knowing who Kakashi is saying, come on now, Ray. Come on, Ray. But the business side and the aspect of me knowing what Ray Ford went through and how they did him, as far as he had 2 fights in the span of like 90 days, I think. And one of them was over in Saudi where he wasn't like, he didn't have no rest. It was a quick turnaround. He was fighting a tough customer in Nick Ball. And I think that he had opportunities. For me, I kind of think he edged it personally, but I could see why they gave it to Nick Ball. But I think that it was just times where he just fell flat and he just didn't. I don't know if it was the energy or what it was, but he kind of just let Nick just take over the fight and convince the judges. You know what I'm saying? I think it could have went either way, but I'm not arguing about Nick Ball having won. And ever since then, it's almost like he's been trying to find his way. The last fight I saw was that fight when we went up to Atlantic City and saw Boots. He was on that undercard and he fought a dude. And I'm like, man, get rid of this dude. And it was like rinse, Ross, repeat. Like after about round 3, it was like he didn't want to take a risk and get caught and look stupid. And, you know, he didn't want to take Buddy out. Buddy wasn't there to fight. He was there to survive. It's kind of challenging to knock somebody out. But see, when you in those positions, man, you got to dig deep. You got to take risks and you got to get them up out of there. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to their frustration, and it came to mind. I couldn't find my thumbnail. I don't know where I emailed myself. I don't know what title I emailed it under, but I couldn't find this thumbnail. But I found another one that'll suffice for now. We did a show a while ago, and we said who's stepping. And we was, you know what I'm saying, these are the biggest of the little guys, right? These guys, right? These are the biggest of the little guys. And so we were saying who's stepping on some East Coast stuff. We did a little East Coast show, you know what I'm saying? And we were looking at the Northeast. Well, Stephen Fulton, he went and got busy. As we all know, he went and got O'Shaquie Foster. We did another one saying it was a crossroads because we had Jahai Tucker and Truck Simpson. And then we had Stephen Fulton and O'Shaquie. Now that Jahai and Truck, that already went by, but that was a crossroad. That was another thumbnail we had O'Shaquie with. But it's interesting because the two on the left are the guys that I was actually talking about just now. So Fulton went and got busy. And like right after I got done watching the video, I said, hold on, I ain't no genius, but Shushu out there, he frustrated because he can't find a viable opponent. Ray Ford is out here, he's frustrated because he can't find a viable opponent. I ain't no genius, but I remember when them two was going at it, it was like, it was a year ago. It was like, I think it was like around September last year. They were going at it, and I got a thumbnail with them too because I was getting hyped. And it had my ammo, it had the ammo in the background, it had bodywork at the top, it had that silver background with that arsenal of weapons, that one background I be using. That was the one that it had on there, and I'm like, I remember y'all guys jaw jacking, and you both of them was saying, yeah, you next, and they was like, it was right before one of Shushu fights. So I'm like, somebody make a call, somebody put these two together, because there's no way that y'all should be looking for an opponent. Y'all both viable names, but they're both at a stage where they both want to get titles, and they don't want to risk the biscuit. But we're coming down to a stage right now where you're just gonna have to start stepping on people. Like if an opportunity there, you can make a couple of dollars, get another payday, stay active and boost your cachet, start stepping on people. Because right now you see what's going on with these promotional companies, you see how people want to move up and out of weight classes, people want to pull out with injuries. You know what I'm saying? If there's somebody available and that shit come across your desk, man, you better just say, hey, man, what's up with this dude, man? Tell him bring his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to get busy. If it's a good scrap and it's gridlock, but we get a fan what they want to see, we can get a rematch. If not, I'm stepping and you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to climb to the top. So that's the first one. That's something for y'all to think about. Anybody can chime in, man. I'm just going through the thing. I'm just going through the emotions right now. But I got another one. The second one is.
I was gonna say Shushu definitely need a fight. I'm glad that Oshaki and Fulton are fighting. People, that's a underrated. That's not being talked about enough. That's gonna be a good fight. Finding, like when you say stepping, yeah, they just gonna have to do that.
You just gotta get busy, man. It's boxing is funny right now. It's just going in that direction of where, man, closed mouths don't get fed, and they want the full package. But if you willing to fight and get active, and you willing to take on enough some top names, and maybe not take A plus bread, but take a decent check, you know what I'm saying, for a risk, you gotta start thinking like Brian Norman, man. We gonna get into his philosophy. We say, man, higher the risk, the higher reward. I mean, you kind of gotta psych yourself out like that, but now that means you're gonna have to buckle down when you get inside the weight room. And when you get inside the gym and you be doing your training and you locking on your opponent, none of that I don't watch film, none of that. No, you got to become obsessed. You know what I'm saying? But you got to start stepping, man, because boxing is going in a weird direction.
It's going in a direction, just to recap on what you're saying, for me, it's going in a direction of, it's a one solid statement for me. And that goes, and I'm attributed to what was told to Marcus Aurelius. You have all the talent. You know what you're doing. You're a great leader. But at this point, if you really want to make it to Rome, you got to win the crowd.
Did you go back 3,000 years?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Classic though. That's a class. My lady still ain't seen it. I think she still ain't seen it.
At the end of the day, it's a saying from 3,000 years ago, Pop. It's a saying from 3,000 years ago. If you're not looking to win the crowd, you cannot complain about what's offered to you.
It might have been Spartacus. It might have been Spartacus. I think she did see Gladiator. I gotta check, but it's Spartacus she didn't see. That series.
All right. But that's my caveat to whatever. To that first section. It's all wrapped up in you youngins for American boxing, looking at the state of American boxing, you got to start to win the crowd, man. Get that appetite for smoke and win the crowd.
Good point.
You know what? Great point, because we say this, but they don't hear us. They don't want to. Put your horse blinders on and run your race.
Yeah.
Stop running looking left, right. If you fuck around, bro, you got to keep what's going on in front of you. You don't know if there's an obstacle in front of you. You looking here, you looking there. Somebody could have kicked the hurdle right in front of you. You don't, because you looking here, you trip up.
It's like them people when you be riding by and you be looking ahead and you be like, what the fuck you looking over? And they looking over and then all of a sudden you see them like, oh, because they looking. You got to look at what's in front of you, man, and you're going to rear end somebody or get rear-ended or something, you know. But
I mean, if you're going to keep your head on a swivel, don't be staring overhead. What he doing? Why he doing it that way? Why it ain't work for me when I did that? And then do it overhead? No. You keep your head on the swivel, man. What's behind me? But you got to keep looking forward. Or you're going to stumble and fall. All right.
Yeah. The next one is this. Bam. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, man. One of my favorite little fighters, man. He will face Inoue before it's all over. They did an interview. The Ring Magazine been putting on a lot of interviews. They got a little ragtag, a team of guys, man. We would dust their boots. You know what I'm saying? We would, if we had that spotlight, man, we could actually run it, you know what I'm saying, and ask questions and talk, we would dust their motherfucking boots. LaShawn McCoy with his dumb ass, and I loved him as an Eagle fan. He was one of the nicest, got the cut back. He was a beast as a running back. In football, he's lost in the sauce. I mean, in boxing, he lost in the sauce. This nigga gonna ask Bam, I see that you like to fight with a chip on your shoulder. He's like, is that because when you went out and fought, you fought and the guys from Top Rank saw you and they didn't sign you, and the guys from PBC saw you fight and they didn't sign you. Is that why you fight with a chip on your shoulder? I'm sitting there like,
He asked that question?
yeah. I'm like, who qualified? Like Max didn't even qualify your question. Why would he be thinking? You know how long he's 24. He's been boxing for a minute now. Like he's well past the whole fighting with a chip on the shoulder because somebody didn't sign him in the beginning. Like this is not the Tom Brady story. Like I mean, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like what the hell? But Bam basically he answered all the questions. He said he on a mission. They were saying that Chocolatito was like one of the last little guys that was like that became #1 pound for pound. And so his name keeps coming up in conversations with Junto Nakatani. And Juno Nakatani just left 118 and went up to 122. And Naoya Inoue is looking at going up to 126 here soon. But Bam did reassure everybody that before it's all said and done, he gonna get that smoke. And I believe him. That's a great fight. You know what I'm saying? That's a great that Bam and Inoue, that's a great fight, man. And I know that Bam, he can do it because Bam get big as shit. You wouldn't even recognize Bam if you saw him in between fights, man. You know what I'm saying? But great little fight. And like I said, Brian Norman, Abdullah Mason, and Bam Rodriguez, with Bam being the slightly older one. He's slightly older than Brian Norman. And they both a little bit older than Abdullah Mason. Those are the leaders of the new school, believe it or not. Those are the guys that, if you want to hitch your trailer to a wagon, one of those guys, you know what I'm saying, or all of those guys are guys that you should look at, man. They do their thing inside the ring. Whenever they talk, like Bam, he don't, you know, Bam is kind of straightforward. He's kind of nonchalant. I don't think really being behind the camera, in front of the camera, is really his thing, but he can handle it. You know, he answered the questions, got a personality and all that. He just strictly business. Last thing I want to do, man, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to take a moment in solidarity, man, for Tank, man. I'm just going to take a second, man, and just give a moment just to, like, give positive vibes. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't know what's going on, but it's crazy, man. I know the feeling of being in certain situations and how people can act and how people can kind of mess things up. So I'm just gonna take a moment out to respect the shooter.
Who's in his way? Who has a problem with what he's trying to do? Obviously, there's something that he's not doing. And even though certain people think he's just doing whatever, he's something he's not doing, but shit could keep coming out. Because in this day and age, I'm so sorry. Where's the footage? Where's the ring camera? Where's the police ring? Where's the police camera? Like, all cops gotta wear them. Where is this, man? Where's the people get phone out before helping you? Where's the footage? Stop telling me what happened and let me see the whole footage. Don't cut it up and try to chop it and make it seem like, where's the footage?
All great questions. Those are all questions I had to ask. It just smelled fishy. I've been in situations the way I know how it is, and people just in that situation, people just default and give all the credence to this party over here, and it couldn't be worse. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to take a moment out, man, and just give some positive vibes, man, and solidarity with the dude. I hope he make it through this, man, and stop getting hamstringed by this. I hope he gets some better legal counsel and that he's able to keep running his race, man. But that's all. I ain't gonna harp on that, man. I just wanted to do that, man. Put some positive vibes out. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes, man. Let's have some fun. You know what I'm saying? We are gonna have some fun, man. If you want, jump up on the panel if you can fit. Let us know what you think about this. But we got Norman Smashowitz, and then we got FRANKEN-HAN3Y. You know what I'm saying? And it's starting to get spooky because we 3 weeks out. This is a big fight. I think that this fight, I think if Baron Norman, I think if he sparks out Devin Haney, I think that he definitely has a case for the next face. You know what I'm saying? A potential, a face in weight. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how everything settles out. But this is what we're talking about, man. We're gonna have some fun with it. And
it's so funny because you got him as FRANKEN-HAN3Y, right? But after seeing him, you like, and how people are talking, and how I saw both, and I seen some interviews, and Devin said, this is what Devin said. This is the best he's felt in a long time. He's killing himself, he was saying stuff like, we didn't know. Like, bro, we saw you at the weigh-in. We saw how your eyes were sunk in. Yes, we know you was killing yourself to make 135 and 140. The first time you made 140, you made it easy. You made it great. But your body was telling you, you don't need to be there. So now you at 47. You said, come November 22nd, everybody gonna find out that Devin Haney's a big guy. So you should be at the last time we seen you get a knockout, you should be at that form. You should be that strong. If you've been a shell of yourself for the last 5, 6, 7 years, staying at 35 and then going up to 40. So we should see the real Devin Haney. So when I see the FRANKEN-HAN3Y, I think you should have made a Thanos joint.
Well, look, no, let me explain why I call him FRANKEN-HAN3Y, and then we'll get into it. This is why I call him FRANKEN-HAN3Y, because he's had at least 15 trainers. And see, I got this from Mr. Gary Russell. He said that, man, he said, I don't typically like when people, because I forgot who at the time, somebody had changed trainers and they was asking him what, he's like, listen, he said, I'm not a fan of it. He said, I'm one of them ones where if you're going to be with a guy, I think it has something to do with one of them Derrick James fighters, because he had a couple fighters that was jumping around. Might have been with Anthony Joshua and Derrick James.
Yeah.
Or Ryan and Derrick James. I think it was around Derrick James around that time. One of them fighters, it was a Derrick James look. And he was basically saying, listen, I'm not a fan of it. He said, because we call them we call them Frankenstein fighters. He said when it's a fighter and he gets with all these different coaches at different times, it's like he like a mixed bag of nuts basically. And he said you don't know what you're gonna get. So listen to this. Devin, of course, he had Bill Haney, which is his dad, Yoel Judah, Ben Davison, Shane Mosley, Nate Jones, Mickey Bay, Floyd Mayweather Sr., Jeff Mayweather, Roger Mayweather, Nate Vasquez, Mike McCallum, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Virgil Hunter, Roy Jones Jr., and then he had a plethora of people that was doing his performance. So it's like, that's why I call him FRANKEN-HAN3Y, because it's like, man, like
he built, not bought.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he bought. You know what? I'm not gonna say that, but to have all of them people, you said Zab pops, right?
Yeah, Yoel.
That's the one to me. That one to me, because I get it. Yoel is not his godfather. Zab's his godfather. But you got access to my dad who trained me and other fighters. When I try to explain it to other people outside of the East Coast tri-state area, and like you just know what it is. Within 3 to 4 hours of driving where you can be at. When I try to explain to people, AC can understand this. AC, you there, right?
Yeah.
People is like, I don't understand how much you trying to say that mean. Y'all gotta look at the landscape. But now they saying that there's some tension between the Judahs and the Haneys. But now it's coming out. You live in New York. Devin Haney, when he fought Ryan Garcia, was fighting in Brooklyn. The Judahs are from Brooklyn. You did your promotion in Manhattan. I get he from the West Coast, but he know what's up. The disrespect or you wasn't alive in BK like that. Like, to be truthfully honest with you, till you fix what it is with the Judas.
Yeah, that is true to a certain degree. Like here, New Yorkers generally don't take kind to the person, and I would probably say that for any state.
AC, this is a West Coast guy.
Yeah, and that's where I was getting at. You shitted on us, and now you want to come here and be a part of us and live here. Bro, on some real shit, just on that cultural level, you got to make up for that. But where he's...
But, Body, you understand that I'm fighting in Brooklyn, but I'm promoting in Manhattan, means that he might as well have been promoting in fucking Philly or Delaware.
Yeah, it's his own little state.
All 5 boroughs think they're their own state, and Mount Vernon and Yonkers think that they should be part of the 5 boroughs, and find 2, and the other 2 niggas got to go, but they don't know which 2 ones got to go. So you got 7 boroughs that think they make up New York City. Then you got the island. That's the Irv Spencer effect. So when you come up here in this little small state, this itty bitty state, it's small as hell. We think that we are 8 states.
New Yorkers think New York is all of America.
Yeah. Yeah. If y'all don't wear construction Timbs, something wrong with y'all.
Yep.
So for you to train over here and then come here and fight, it's a cultural thing. So
Yeah.
I get that 15, like you should have, I'm not saying what you should have done, but to just have all these trainers when you talk to boxers and be like, it's all these guys that you took from.
And that's where, for me, when I heard, like, the one place I would probably say I heard the Frankenstein thing and it actually caught me because of the context it was put in. I think Lord of the Rings actually mentioned it when he was saying that he's not a big fan of Devin Haney. I think it was in one of the early Murderers Row joint, and he was like, I'm just not a fan of the dude because he's a Frankenstein fighter. He's, he shows no loyalty to any gym, to any person who's training him, and I just think that's a disaster, when it comes down to it. And I remember my response and said, I get what you're saying when it's in boxing, but in my field, sometimes just trying to stay with one chef, you ain't gonna really make it. You gotta be putting in the work and travel around the world and the globe to see everybody's different perspective and take little pieces of them and mold that into you. In boxing, I could see where that theory doesn't work, because then you wind up leaving certain aspects of training off the table. And just to give it a good point, like I spoke with Body earlier today, and I was talking about a lot of the footage I was seeing between the two guys trained. Consistently, I'm seeing videos of Brian Norman chasing the bag. And these were, I mean, Pop could say it, and when I was talking to a lot of people, when I talk about things, that certain tangibles I see that make me feel like this fighter is going to do more than the other fighter, I see Brian Norman working on footwork. He's got everything taped up. He's working on all these different angles, shooting a double and triple jab. He's chasing the bag and everything. When I see Dev and people talk about Debo, Dev is back. I'm seeing a dude basically in a 4x4 just working on shit in a 4x4. So, bro, if your object is to try to stay in the pocket and trade with this dude, you're going to get knocked the fuck out. You might lose, you might get Jin Sasaki. And that's going to be a saying for me, for when you knocked out so fucking hard, you lost portions of your memory. That's the Jin Sasaki. Because I ain't never seen that shit before. Not Wilder, not Tyson, not Foreman, not Julian Jackson. None of them dudes knocked the shit out of somebody so bad that they lost their fucking memory.
You was so high on Jin Sasaki. I was making content on it, making like and
but I had to be the antithesis. I had to be the one guy who's actually rooting for the underdog. And that's the role I decided I was going to take. I liked his style. It's a style-friendly style to me. So I put my clothing in that suitcase and said, fuck it. This is my luggage I'm carrying with me.
AC, we was looking at Brian Norman Jr. and was like, he just hit his stride.
Yes, sir.
Everybody getting in the ring with him right now better be ready. The boot shit, I was like, that shit's pretty much far-fetched if you don't take that first offer that they gave you. If you ain't take that, well, it wasn't going to happen. Everybody else in the division, I was like, he probably can conquer this division right about now.
It's going to be his division once he smacked Devin to sleep. That's why everybody's making, I think that's why everybody's making a big deal out of it nowadays. For the simple fact that this is the fight to control 147 division right now, and that's as big as it is right now. This probably makes, to me, I'm not going to agree with the other dude that's saying the fight should be for Undisputed. I'm like, I don't know how you rationalize that. You feel what I'm saying? But if I was even going to entertain a Ring Magazine fight, I get to whereas that was the 1 and 2 guy at that point. But when you look at the levels of competition and you look at the actual talking points, for many fans, this fight is a lot more closer than Boots was versus Stanionis.
I told a lot of people, I know I told anybody who would listen, Boots with no rehydration clause, gonna be a problem. Definitely at 47. And with no rehydration clause, because the unification fight, no hydration clause, and he just walked through Stanionis.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, but this is one of those things that I'm gonna spit out something that Body always talks about. In hindsight, I hear what you're saying. But in hindsight, that motherfucker got the fuck up out of 47, bro. I can't, people can tell me, oh, it's the weight, it's the weight, it's the weight. Okay, but now you ain't got to deal with the rehydration. So in hindsight, you got the fuck up out of that division.
And AC, see, I don't know. Listen, I know you just use body quote, but that don't work against me because I've been telling you years that nigga needed to get the fuck. Who's the first person to say Boots need to skip 54 and go 60?
Nah, we both saw the video, and yeah, I could say you was the first person who actually put it on wax. You feel what I'm saying?
You say
so we were both arguing. We were both arguing the same points because B-Mac and them could tell you. I was saying that, and they was like, "Nah, AC always be coming up with Devin Haney should be at 47, Boots should be at 160, 168." And I said, "This is what Boots said." So how you blaming me? We all saw the video.
This my question. This was my question. You know what I do? I always do it, but shoe was on the other foot. But if Norman, what if Norman was moving like Boots? You know what I'm saying? They would have roasted this shit out of him, man. He would have had to walk around with a diaper on, man. If he would have waited, 3 weeks before and say, "Oh man, fight me and sign the paperwork now," and then it's not aging well. It's not aging well because Boots was just in the interview, and they had asked, he was on Earl Hawani. And he was like, "Yeah, we signed outside, but Virgil didn't." And he said that he had something in front of him, which is understandable. You know, you kind of got, I'm like, man, why don't y'all stop this dude from talking, man? Because I'm not going to pull him back to the red carpet to do this because I'm done. I'm not going to like just pulverize this point. But 3 weeks before Jin Sasaki, he was like, "Man, sign me, fight me. And then like the day before he fought, he just announced that he going up to 54. Then they came out and said they knew for a month that they was moving up. I'm like, so why y'all let Brian Norman and them get slandered? That's why I don't knock Senior for going around just kicking Boots and them in the ass like whenever he get a chance, because it's like, damn man, y'all slandered that man. Y'all know how YouTube is, man. Y'all had people just jumping out on them, man. And so he got busy and he got work. You know what I'm saying? And it's looking like with him taking this Devin fight, it's looking like he's moving proper. And they're saying, man, you know, Boots need 2 tune-ups. You know what I'm saying? He need a tune-up. He need what they say, he need a new alternator, a starter.
Yeah, starter, battery pack. And then he needs spark plugs and everything. Here's another thing too.
Antifreeze.
Here's one thing I say about that is that we starting to see on some real shit. And by that, I know you meant like yo, is she like? I don't know why niggas be calling him his ex. Like, yo, are you not a man? His Excellency? You ain't no different than the rest of these motherfuckers. What are you talking about? You already done said you like the cat and just say shit. And then we see it because you still went pay-per-view. But you said you was gonna get rid of pay-per-view. But now that your budget, that 750 million that everybody talking about, it ain't just for boxing. So watch out now. Let's see if you start getting these matchmakers to make these good fights. Because the only card you probably gonna make money on since you've been doing this is November 22nd.
Yeah, that's a beautiful card now. That's a beautiful card, man. I ain't gonna lie about that. Now I give credit where it's due. Now that card, when it was first announced, I was like, I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Look, y'all can laugh if y'all want to. Right now, I'm not going all the way in. I'm not being extreme as I was like 3 months ago. You know what I'm saying? 3 months ago when I did this when I put this one out. Let me see. I stopped going this hard. You know why? You remember, y'all know how Elmer Fudd be? When he was going through the forest and he said, I gotta be quiet. I don't want to scare away the rascally rabbits. So I'm trying not to scare away the rascally rabbits. You know what I'm saying? I hope it don't dawn on Devin that they up Shit's Creek without a paddle and that they need to skedaddle. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying not to go so hard to where he realized, like, you know what? I could always live to fight another day. I could always fight somebody else. I'm hoping he don't pull out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got, you know, between Schofield, Fundora, Keith Thurman, Virgil, you know, anybody that, like, what, Frank Martin, you know, anybody that is about to fight Shakur, you know, the pullouts are just getting ridiculous. And I'm hoping Dev don't pull out, man. I'm hoping Dev stand on, you know what I'm saying? I hope he stand on town business like he said, because this is the time where I'm actually giving Devin respect. And I'm saying, look, Dev, you see, I ain't really been kicking his back in and all that. I said, this is all I wanted you to do, just fight somebody your size, goddamn. It's the same thing I'm asking for Boots. You know what I'm saying? Fight somebody your goddamn size.
Have you seen Devin? Have you seen Devin?
I seen him.
Bro, here's the thing. That I did a little hour joint today. He should win this fight. This is the best you felt in 10 years. Probably. You're stronger. You say you're gonna be stronger because you ain't got to cut weight. You ain't got to kill yourself to cut weight. You're making 147 easy. Your nutritionist told you to come in heavier so you can cut the weight slowly down. You should be at your best because you're only cutting 20 to maybe 25 pounds instead of 30 to 35 pounds. Now at 27, 28, you definitely probably walking around at 180, easy. But when you trying to stay close to fighting shape, you're gonna be around 165, 167. So you can cut what, 20 pounds? Easy to get to 47, walk in there at 146, do the, you know what I'm saying? And then come in the next day, weighing like 170 pounds, punch resistance and all that. But you should still be the Devin Haney at 135, but with the power at 47. That's what you should be. That's what you're saying. Time will tell, and we'll see. And yes, Suave, you're right, bro. Calling a nigga his excellency. Nigga, please.
Look at Van D gave. He said you might actually see Debo Haney. You ever seen that movie Shotters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they whacked this girl in the pool and he slapped the boy. He said, "You're going too far now."
Uh-huh.
Nah, man, like we can't call him Debo. I mean, I know he did Debo Regis. Now Regis still fell in that category of the not having the height, the reach, and then Regis, you know, Regis
was an older fighter. Got bricks in it. He got cement in his shoes. Cool. We was hoping that Regis would show him something, but when Dev moved up there, his first fight, cutting 5 less pounds. That first time he came out there, he was looking like Debo Dev. After that, what happened? We saw him cut weight to 140. He looked thin as hell wearing them damn shades. Ryan came in at 143. So then you went to 144 in the catch weight.
The issue for me is when I looked at him at the catch weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Devin Haney that everybody believes is the Debo Devin Haney, right? That guy was far more accurate, even though he was cutting the weight and everything. That guy was far more accurate. When you look at his last fight, that accuracy was out the window. So this is a catch weight, and your accuracy was out the window. Yes, it could have been on the fact that you never planted your feet to throw a punch and let that punch be thrown properly and have the accuracy you were intended. You feel what I'm saying? So when I look at some of these talking points, and I'm a person that's like right now thinking to myself, yeah, I've been calling for Dev to do this since after the second Kambosos fight, to go up to just get 140, because it's not going to do you anything, because that weight is not going to be that significant for how bad you looked. You belong at 47 at a bare minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's now at 47. His last fight to prepare him at 40 for 47, that catch weight, he did not look impressive. You feel what I'm saying? Again, when I go back and watch how he's training. Yes, within the ethos of those people who know Devin Haney and those of him that are actually his fans, say right now, bro, this is the weight we've been calling for you from, and this is the weight we said you are going to be at least your most dangerous until you can't make 47 no more, until you get to like 30, maybe 31, and you have to move up. So when I look at this Devin Haney and he's saying what he's saying, and then I'm looking at the training videos, right? There was still some things that I was noticing in the fact that some of the captions on the video said Devin Haney is working on inside counter. So when you look at that shot, and this is by the BB guy, right? And you look at that slow motion he's shown, to where the shot is thrown, he throws his shot and goes up under. If you look at that scene right there and go back chronologically and just look at every one of Devin's training, or even when he's in a real fight and he does that same move, he's always going down and coming across to the same side. To a smart fighter, I'm gonna sucker you in, throw that ghost punch, get you to respond, and then once you throw your shot, I'm not gonna back up. I'm gonna stay right there and just kind of parry off of it and turn my head to take some of the luster off, because I know it's not gonna be a shot that kind of fucks me up. As soon as I do that, I'm in the process of now taking that half step back, because I know your sequence, I know your muscle memory. And as soon as you go up under, wah, it's right there. Your fucking head and everything is right there, because his hands, every time he shows that video, and Blue shows it in slow motion, he's not even tucked in a defensive position of going under the punch like that. And then both of his fucking feet are off the ground. So I'm saying to myself, as a fan of this dude, knowing how he fights, you feel what I'm saying? Knowing his flaws, everything you do wrong is going to get you knocked the fuck out, bro. And I wouldn't be surprised at this point if the fight doesn't even last 5 rounds. And everybody's going to be like, oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him to go and do Dev like that. Guess what? Out of all the film study I'm looking at, and looking at how they're training this dude, he's not going to make it. I'd be shocked if he make it past 5 rounds. I'm dead ass serious, bro.
You got Troy Isley and Charles Conwell in his sparring partner.
He got Conwell?
Yeah. Devin Haney got Troy Isley, Charles Conwell. He got somebody else too, but yeah. Those are guys that he picked. They come in the camp with him.
Hopefully they let Conwell go full, you know what I'm saying, go full contact with him, you know what I'm saying, so you could really get accustomed to that heat.
He said he came up with them. Like he bringing in guys that he know that he think can emulate Brian Norman Jr. And that's what he brought in there.
This is my issue. This is my issue, man. It's the same thing that happened right before the Ryan Garcia fight. And you know, because we was over there, I was coming over there to the smoke session. We were talking about it. Going into the fight, they're doing the same thing. They're telling this man and all his people are saying he want to knock out Brian Norman. I'm like, y'all didn't learn. And Devin is regurgitating that same BS he was saying going into the Ryan fight, talking about its levels. It's like you know, like you're gonna handicap this man and do this. Like, what are you gonna handicap? Like, it's a false sense of confidence to think that you're gonna become something that you're not by nature. And you can think that you can channel what you did to Regis, but Regis, that was because Regis was still shorter with very short arms, and no, he don't have educated feet at all. Regis has been accustomed to being able to catch people because he's a little unorthodox, and he is like, it's almost like Mexican style. You know what I'm saying? There's no slickness to it. Like, he can kind of make you miss a little bit, but that's just because he's awkward. But this false sense that you're just gonna knock him out, that's why I always say I give better advice to Devin Haney, and I've never been the biggest Devin Haney fan in the world. You are a boxer, Devin Haney. Your job is to stick and move. Now you do have to plant your feet, and you have to, you know what I'm saying, pick your shots or whatever. But that's more of like, you know, as long as his feet moving and you set, you can, you know what I'm saying, you can punch. Once his feet stop, you got to get the moving. You know what I'm saying? You got to be strategic, but you can't be running. You are a boxer, Devin Haney. You are not a puncher. Like, and you thinking that, you know what I'm saying, you're 27 years old. Like, that's almost like thinking that your meat gonna get any bigger. It's not. Your man strength is not coming. You know what I'm saying? You stuck with what you got. You know what I'm saying? You don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? You just, it is what it is. Cause like, if you don't realize that by now, man strength is not coming. Your meat ain't gonna get no bigger unless you pay for it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work with what you got, bro. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. I'm, you know what I'm saying? Big Mike gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's one thing.
Oh God, yeah.
I guess
Yo,
that's the main.
Could you imagine being on the block and to tell a nigga that shit? Oh God. Oh, my phone. He said, "Oh, I got hit a new ball song."
Bro, it is. Hey, listen, man. That it is what it is, bro. It's like, and that goes to the point that I was making. It's like, I'm looking at some of the videos, and these dudes got the caption of it: Devin Haney working on speed. And I'm like, okay, if you guys are the boxing fans and the boxing content creators, speed is not something you develop in the gym, because if you're already strong or whatever, to now work on speed, that means you have to take some of your power away from it, because you can't commit to it, because you're just not God-givenly fast like that. You can't, that's a false sense of security for a trainer to tell you, now we're gonna work on your hand speed. Okay, if you want me to catch a ball or whatever, that's not my hand speed, that's my reflexes, that's my reaction. I can work on that, I can sharpen that, but I can't sharpen speed. How fast I throw a punch is how fast I just throw the punch. It's just that simple. So I'm just like, the community is doing my guy Dev a disservice, y'all. It's like y'all want him to win, because I don't know what it is with Brian Norman. I don't know what it is that, you know, people complain about Bill. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, the Haneys, Bill, the Haneys, Bill. But then when it comes down to fights like this, then there's this whole network of dishonest shit that's going on, and shit that's going on that's just telling me like, bro, I'm a fan of this dude. Where the fuck do y'all see this from?
AC talk too much. And I told you, I know I told you, I remember, I think I told Body, when I got the word, I said, win or lose, they trying to make an example out of Bill, and they gonna use Devin to do it. Remember me telling you that?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, just be prepared for some crazy shit. And what happened?
You got the Ryan situation.
That's what I was telling you. I was like, so to hear Devin actually do these interviews, like he's with Angela Yee, he's with the Ariel nigga. I seen the Fight Hype interview. He was a few places, you know what I'm saying? So to say that, I'm just saying that I'd rather hear Devin talk than Bill. He said I want Devin to KO more for his pops than Devin himself. See, look, that come from Bill talking so much instead of us actually hearing from the fighter.
Yeah, but for me, Jose, that's the thing that is gonna have me watching this fight with my hands over my eyes and shit like that. You know, like I'm a 5-year-old watching a scary movie. Like, this is the scary part. This is the scary part. It's getting ready to. You feel what I'm saying? Because exactly, for the simple fact that if people want Devin to beat Brian Norman as some sort of whatever for Devin Pops don't have to get in the ring. You cannot write checks that your son ass has to cash.
That's what he doing.
And that's, for me, that's the problem, because I don't know if y'all got enough funds in the bank to cover the check you trying to write, bro. I think that shit gonna bounce.
Turk writing them checks. DHP getting AC. We not the switch now.
You tripping?
Nah, you ain't listen. You ain't got smoke session right now. Now you got pop.
You tripping, right, and I'm not talking about the part of doing drugs.
I know you at AC. I know you. Listen, bro. We all listen. If you a boxing fan, we all go back to Devin Haney TV. We go back to when Floyd was trying to cultivate him to come over here when they lined him up for Showbox. They ran from Showbox straight to where? The Zone, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, bro, we know this, we not new Devin Haney fans talking about this. We been through the whole thing. We all was on YouTube waiting for the next Devin Haney episode when he was showing us, because he was giving us more than he was supposed to. We all been there. Have we not?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
All right, so all that backtracking and side talking and trying to, no, you've been getting the bread. You've been getting, you listen. It's easy to look up this damn video of Floyd Mayweather Sr. downgrading Tank, bigging up Devin Haney, because at the time that was his fight. We all heard that, right? We heard that when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
That's double-digit years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when it come to talking about it, bro, nah, man. Your dad been talking for a minute. He Body Work just said the man done been in 15 different goddamn camps, gyms. Devin Haney right now comfortably at 147, saying what he's saying. This is not Bill talking, this is Devin talking. Saying what he's saying should be comfortably, and he should do what Boom been telling me gonna happen.
Look, let me tell you, let me break it down like this, man. I got examples for days, man. I don't know how old y'all were when y'all found out that Santa Claus wasn't real. I don't know how old y'all were when y'all found out the tooth fairy.
I was 9. My dad wasn't playing no more. And I played with my mom till I was about 12. my dad wasn't playing. He was like, we was out. He used to, like, I got a like mother, father. He was like, listen, man, straight up. That's why I talk the way I talk. Listen, man, I do this.
Yo.
No bullshit. You think that somebody?
No, I said yo. Like,
the air and do some shit? No, I do this, nigga. Me and your mama. So I got a real I talk with a real concept of shit. So at an early age, it was broken down. I wasn't 15 and found out, oh no, milk and cookie. No.
What's good, Smoke?
What's good, bro?
I was saying yo, not no.
No. I wasn't saying that. I was just saying that. Just wanted to finish that at an early age, like a chimney. Hold on, I'm black in the ghetto. We ain't got no chimney. So how does Santa Claus bring me my shit?
Word.
He comes through the door. My dad will punch him in the shit. Like I got a nigga dad. Like that ain't about to happen. So how does he? So it was broken down early.
So look, the moral of the story is eventually your parents loved you, so they told you the truth. It's just like years ago, I went to my man Chuck. He had a wedding. I was the best man, and it was this chick there, and she her and her husband was there. Long story short, like a bunch of people wound up becoming Facebook friends and all that, and over the years, like everybody kept in contact through Facebook. It came a point in time where I believe she had a son. This nigga had to be every bit of 5. She was still breastfeeding that man.
Whoa.
I'm like, man, if a nigga could come up and pull your titty out, you know what I'm saying, and go ahead and get some, like, it's come on, man, you gotta break it to. Long story short, they've never kept it a buck with Dev, man. They keep telling them these things. They keep, you know what I'm saying, nobody will pull the plug. It's like, man, somebody tell this motherfucker like what it really is. Like, tell him the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell him that Santa Claus ain't real. Tell him that the Tooth Fairy ain't real. Tell him that no, you can't breastfeed anymore, son. You too big. You too grown for all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you on milk and you should be eating steak now. So he finally moved up to 147, and they still kind of like lying to him, telling him that his man strength is you just got your man strength now. You know, it's like, come on, man. No, because listen, this is my point, and I'm gonna let Boom have the mic, but this is my point. When you look at somebody like Abdullah Mason don't got his man strength yet. Like, we know that. He's still been cracking and putting people out. You know why? Because of his technique. His technique has always been there. Like, his technique has the kind where he knows how to deliver a punch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have your man strength in order to really knock somebody out. Some people are naturally more heavy-handed than others. Some people have some big ass phalanges. Like, some people have some big ass boulder brick for hands. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just heavy handed. Yes, but it don't have nothing to do with you having your man strength. It just means that you didn't really fully grasp how to deliver a punch appropriately, and you didn't work on your craft in those certain areas. You rushed by. You had a bunch of yes men around you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was saying, oh yeah, man, that's good. Like, when you small and you coloring in the coloring book and you supposed to learn how to color inside the lines, they always let him color outside the lines. Say, oh man, that's perfect. And then let him go. It's like, no, sit your ass down until it ain't shit on the outside of them lines. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna keep doing this punch over and over again. You're gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna do this drill over and over again until you perfect it. They never did that with this dude. He always got by because he was more athletic than the people that he was in there with. He had a higher IQ. Or I would think that inspiring is one of them instances where when all your people around in this sparring, a nigga better not get out on you because it's gonna be a problem. So he probably had a lot of them situations where a motherfucker could have got out on him, but he was looking around he read the room and was like, nah, I can't punch this nigga in this shit the way I want to, because then it's really gonna be a problem. And he been sliding by. Now it's time to pay the piper. What's up, Boom? Hello? What y'all doing, man?
But yeah, bro, I'll come in until he come. Basically, where I'm.
Yo,
where
I'm here. I'm here. My
Go
bad.
ahead, bro.
Y'all can hear me? Go ahead, AC. I'll
Yeah.
cook after you. My bad, y'all. I'm here though.
Nah, go ahead, bro. I was just gonna talk while you got it together. If you got it together, be good.
Okay, man. I'm here. I'm alive. Thank you to God. I'm still here. And I'm blessed and highly favored, you know. Got my legs crushed up on Saturday, but we still here. You know. But
You
we
got
back.
what?
A little car accident.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we'll be back though. We all good. We all safe and sound, and you know, we blessed, man. We blessed. But no, hey man, when we talk about Dev Haney, can we at least give him the respect, yo? I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the world right now. Can we give Dev that respect? You feel me? Like, come on, man. He been undisputed before. He beat Loma. Come on. All he doing is fighting Regis Prograde 2.0. That's about it. This guy
No,
ain't
man, we can't let you get away with that. It's not. Brian Norman is not Regis Program.
Man, Brian Norman ain't special, man. Brian Norman just got that pop on them punches, you know. Devin gonna be running like a track star. He ain't gonna be the catch Dev. His legs gonna hurt from chasing the man. So I just know Devin gonna, you know, outclass the man, outbox the man. Use his footwork, use his IQ. He does have a good jab, but only when his chin is not out there. So that way we can all know what I'm talking about. But I like Devin in this fight, man. And can't nobody sway my mind because you gotta think about and look at who's been on that bigger picture already, who's been there, who smelt those waters, who know what that water like, you know what I mean? Who done swim in that type of, who swim with them kind of fishes, you know? Brian Norman is a tough fighter. I'm not discrediting nothing that he's done did. He is a champion. He has done really well at 147. Although I do think he bit a little too much off his chip fighting Dev right now. I just think maybe one more good fight would have been all right, just to, you know, make a little more of a name for yourself. But hey, if you feel like you're ready, I respect it. I like the fight, and I can't wait to see what happens. I got money on this fight that Dev's gonna win. So,
all right, that's what's up. I got a question for you, Boom.
What's up, man?
Did you see the Sean Zell interview with Brian Norman?
Nah, I ain't going.
See, there's something that was said in there, and
On one of the short versions,
the opening question, like Sean just got at him with all the talking points that are basically circulating within social media. And he had asked him about the comment of Devin saying, "You're not on my level," and all of this other stuff. So, and his resume and things like that. And Brian Norman's answer said it all to me, to where I'm looking at the mindsets, and it's like, it brings me back to that whole thing when it was Canelo versus Bud, and Canelo kept asking Bud, "What have you done? Who have you fought? What elite fighters have you fought?" You feel what I'm saying? And here's where I make the comparison. Brian Norman's answer was, at some point, Muhammad Ali had to have that fight. You know, Floyd Mayweather had to have that fight. All of these guys had to have that fight that at the end of the day, it showed one of two things. Are you him? And if you're him, you'll skate through it and you'll do what you got to do. If you're not him, it's going to be a long night and you're going to get your ass whooped. So at the end of the day, the answer that he gave was the answer that let me know this guy is going to win this fight, because he understands what these weird ass boxing fans keep trying to say. And we've just seen examples of it over and over again. where people talk about who you fought, your level of competition, yada, yada, yada. And then the guy comes out and he just whitewashes a motherfucker. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, it sounds good until it's proven. Until he does it, he talking just as good as the fans is, you know. So until all said and done, the November 15th, Brian Norman got a lot to, you know, he got a lot of food on his plate. You know, he grabbed seconds on his first plate, you know. He ain't playing, so we'll see.
Don't find out if he's him or not. And that's what I'm saying is
he definitely feels he's him. He
feels he's him. Like he feels he's him.
He's Devin. I feel like you do too.
Do I feel like he's him?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it like this. Against Devin Haney, he's him. Against Devin Haney, he's him. Because for me, and being a long-standing fan of Devin Haney, I get that you've done certain things. I get that you've beaten people. You feel what I'm saying? But then now let's, as a fan of yours, this is where I have to now put you under the microscope, because to me, this is the most dangerous fight you've ever had in your career. And when I put you under that microscope, under that microscope, I have to say it like this. Did you have every advantage? You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to exclude skill set. Did you have every physical advantage over Lomachenko when you beat him? Yes.
Hey,
did you have every physical advantage over Jojo Diaz? Yes. Did you have every physical advantage over Kambosos twice? Yes. When I go back, and I can, the only person besides Ryan Garcia that was close to Devin's height and size was Zora Abdullaev. That lets you know what type of fan I am of Devin Haney. Was Zora Abdullaev, and that's the fight that made him the mandatory. So Zora Abdullaev, there was only a difference in, I think, half an inch in height, but Devin had to reach. Hey, feel what I'm saying? So, bro, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, not the scientific name Mallard. That's what I'm saying, my guy.
Hey, are you sure? I'm gonna ask you this because I'm serious when I'm asking you this. I'm not even trolling you. Are you sure this is the highest level of competition, or this is the toughest level of competition that Devin Haney has fought? Are you sure? Because I can name 2 to 3 guys. So are you sure?
I am absolutely positive, because again, you're going to name guys to me that, number one, it was a huge age disparity, or number two, it was a huge physical difference. So go ahead and shoot your shot.
I mean, there's no change in your mind, so it's worthless.
No, let me point out something though. Let me point out something, because you know I'm thorough and I love giving these fun facts.
That's what I'm trying to be.
I want to give some fun facts. It's interesting because a lot of the marquee names that like when you talk about names, because I think that's what you're going by, Boom. So you would be looking. You would be looking at because I mean, if you're saying that most, I think AC said this is going to be the
most dangerous fight.
Okay,
but this is my argument. To say that.
Hold on, let me finish, Boom. Hold on. Because we got all night. We just gonna have some fun. I don't want this to get too serious, but I do want to point this out. When you talk about names and when you talk about levels of competition, right? There are factors involved when these people fight. And this is where I'd be like, because I always be trying to see if I can have the edge, and because I really be wanting to know. So I look at things really, really, really closely. So when you look at a lot of the names of the competition, right, there's always something going on. Not only had you had the height, not only had you had the reach, not only did you have the size. Like in most of the cases, you had the higher IQ, except for maybe you would think a Lomachenko, but then that's arguable. Like boxing IQ, I'm not sure. But sometimes you can have a higher boxing IQ, but then somebody just naturally bigger and know how to use what they do, and you can't win. the most interesting thing about Devin Haney is pretty much most of the names, the majority of the names that he faced, like he had a significance in the average of 7 years. He was 7 years younger than these guys. Brian Norman is the first guy that he's actually fighting that's younger than him, right? But when you look at it, all of the major names that he fought, they faced adversity right before he faced them. Like, he fought George Kambosos, and you can say what you want. George Kambosos, he showed up in the championship rounds against Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, he did, right? But it was still a war between them two. And Devin got undisputed off of one fight. That'll never happen again in history. One fight inside the ring, undisputed. That would never happen. But he went to war with Tio. Gamboa. Gamboa had just got stopped and tore his Achilles fighting Tank Davis. Devin fought him right after that. Never even knocked him down. It was a clinch fest. Right before he fought Lomachenko arguably lost to Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz is one of those guys who arguably beat Tio and arguably beat Lomachenko, but didn't get the nod. Right before he fought Regis Prograis, a guy named Zorilla actually dropped Regis Prograis twice. That was the hometown fight, and it was in New Orleans. He dropped him twice right before Devin fought him. Devin still had, even though Devin was at 35, moving up to 140, Devin still had the height, the reach, the size. He had everything, and Regis was on a one-way rehydration clause, meaning that he could, and Devin still blew what the state commission. It was still illegal what he did that fight. He should not have. If the commission did their job, the WBC, that fight wouldn't even have been able to happen. You got Jose Ramirez just got washed now right before he fought Jose Ramirez. This recent Jose Ramirez, who he ran around and did that little Tom and Jerry shit with, right? He just got washed by Arnold Barbosa. The same Arnold Barbosa who Tio washed the same night when Devin did that Tom and Jerry shit with Jose Ramirez. You got to look at these things like right before the fight, a guy has a very adverse fight prior to Devin Haney fighting him. And then oftentimes, it's a style that Devin Haney can mimic. This is the first time, aside from Ryan, and we saw what happened with Ryan when he didn't have the height, he didn't have the reach, he definitely didn't have the power, he didn't have the hand speed. He probably had the better feet, and you can argue, even though it's hard to argue higher boxing IQ. You know why? Because a lot of people say on the rounds where he didn't get dropped, he was winning. So if his IQ was so high, why did he keep deciding to do the same thing and getting his ass busted? So now he's fighting a guy where he's finally at the weight class where he should be. Actually, he should be at 154. But he's fighting at 47 with a guy his size where he don't have the height. I mean, yeah, he got a slight height, but he don't have the reach advantage. He don't have the power. Hand speed is questionable. We don't know who has the quicker hands. We can argue, or it's debatable, that he has better feet. This is the first time, and then you already know who got the better beard. You know what I'm saying? So with those things considered, right? Do you take any of these things into consideration? Boom.
I do, man. I do. I don't know. I can't believe we're claiming a 7-year age difference is why he beat Lomachenko. I don't understand that. I don't. No,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, listen, right before Lomachenko fought Jermaine Ortiz. Like, that's, if you saw that fight, that's a debatable fight. I actually had Lomachenko edging it out, but a lot of people say Jermaine Ortiz won that fight. Like, you don't see you don't see a pattern in this. Zorilla dropped Regis twice the fight right before he fought Regis. Tank stopped Gamboa right before he fought Devin.
But do you match Brian Norman on the same level as Lomachenko?
No, but when you
What about Jermaine Ortiz? You match him on the same level as Lomachenko?
I don't put Lomachenko that high.
Oh.
But the thing, yeah, I don't put Lomachenko that high. You know why? Because all of his biggest fights, he pretty much lost.
Okay.
He lost to it. Do you see you might be high on Lomachenko because you're basing a lot on Lomachenko, but you do know that Lomachenko lost to a dude that snatched his body in the second fight. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. But this is what I'm saying though. Who was top ranked making or pushing as the king of their company?
These are the same guys that said that. These are the same guys who sat down, like who had Teddy Atlas sit down and tell Bud and Andre Ward that they had Lomachenko above both of them. Do you agree with that?
But no, but do you get where I'm going at with this? For why I feel like here, I'm not even going
I get where you're coming. Boom. I get where you're coming from. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. No, you're right though. But look, this all I'm saying. I won't even base it off resumes no more. Let's just go off who's the better man. And it's clear as day. It's clear as day. It's not Brian Norman Jr. It's not. You can't even compare Brian Norman Jr. to Devin Haney because he has done nothing that Devin Haney has done besides win a world title.
But you're basing this just on accolades. You're basing this on accolades. Why? Because you brought up Lomachenko, but when Lomachenko got in the ring, you know, he looked at Devin and said, "Oh, he's a middleweight." Like, how the fuck you gonna compare that? Like Devin was at 135, rehydrating to damn near like 160. Like yeah, if you that big, you could be as skilled as you want, and people still say. Now I had Devin slightly edging it, and you know why? Because Lomachenko got cocky and he thought he had it in the bag, and he didn't press the action in the 12th round. But it's a time where it's on film where Devin Haney went back to the corner and told his dad, I think he figured me out. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
yeah, I remember that. But
so what are we talking about? Like, when you a middleweight fighting a lightweight, and you going back to the corner and telling your dad he figured me out, and then the nigga take off the 12th round. Like, what are you saying? Like, I think you just don't like Brian Norman.
No, that's
my personal opinion.
I'm gonna say it like this, where I'm understanding to a certain degree where Boom's coming from. You feel what I'm saying as a Devin Haney fan. And he may not even be the closest Devin Haney fan, but he's just looking at it from a boxing perspective, right? And in that boxing perspective, he's like, okay, Devin Haney has proven over the time that he can fight on a big stage. What matters to the boxing world, and we could talk about certain issues and shit like that, but history is going to record the guy who got the W check, not the guy who lost and shit like that. Although those of us who saw the fight in real time was like, no, he was robbed. But if an alien landed and then looked at the whatever, it's like, how are you telling me he lost? I see clearly that he won the fight. Yeah, but you didn't see the fight, so you didn't see what we saw when we watched it in real time. Now, to get to the whole point of what I'm making is that Devin Haney has been on the big stage a hell of a lot more than Brian Norman, right? That's an absolute fact. Brian Norman's biggest win, the win that's got everybody really talking about him like that, is not when he got the belt. You feel what I'm saying? The biggest win is when he went over there and knocked the shit out of Jin Sasaki. You feel what I'm saying? That's where everybody's like, oh. So for me, when I'm listening to a guy who's training and wants to be a pro and shit like that, say, no, I got the guy who's shown me overall consistently is the more technical fighter and may come up to that that tall task, and we about to see the best of him because he should, on like Pop said in the beginning, at 147, this should be an easy fight for Devin Haney. Right? I get all of that. I understand your argument. But for me, and I think bodies on the same page, you feel what I'm saying? I'm more of the Devin Haney fan than Bodywork, and we both in agreement that we believe that when a fighter says, yeah, everybody needed that chance. You feel what I'm saying? Your start may have been questionable, but then when it came down to it and you got your chance, you keep now you keep proving everybody wrong. You feel what I'm saying? People probably didn't think that Terence Crawford was going to beat British Prescott, nor Gamboa. But he came out, he showed up, he showed out, and he beat those guys. So that's where Terence Crawford, between the boxing purists, was like, yo, there's something special with this kid right here. There's something real special with this dude right here. And many of us latched onto it because he's the perfect underdog story. For me, Brian Norman is that perfect underdog story because people are sleeping on his footwork. People are sleeping on his jab. People are sleeping on the speed, the accuracy, and the power of his jab. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to say it like this to you, and Boom. I normally don't agree with probably 98% of the shit that Showbiz says. But he said something pretty interesting to me when he was talking about, yes, Devin Haney has a hell of a jab. It's arguable he may have one of the best jabs in boxing. But now let's ask this question. Does he really know how to defend against it, gets a jab? And can he take a jab? And then he was showing Brian Norman doing a double and triple and a single jab. And when I kind of look at it, it looks like it's, from the eye test, it looks like it's way faster and harder than Devin Haney's jab. And if he's got the reach on Devin Haney, he's going to nullify Devin Haney's jab. And that's one of his best tools. Yes, he may hold the ring IQ checkbox because they haven't gotten in the ring yet. But what should happen? And I asked this question: what should happen if Brian Norman just outboxes Devin Haney? Because we haven't seen the improvement in his career since Zora Abdullaev. He looked impressive against Regis, but we haven't seen the improvement since Zora Abdullaev. So at the end of the day, for me, bro, you know, you can be everything, but there's that old boxing saying, hard works beat talent, especially when talent doesn't work hard.
I just be wanting to hear like how is Devin gonna do it? Not just because we could do that accolade shit all day. Accolade don't mean nothing because we see plenty of time where people don't get opportunities.
Do belts matter?
Yes.
Huh?
Okay, because if accolades don't mean nothing, then belts don't mean nothing. But belts matter, right?
No, I've been said they don't because Jamel Charlo undisputed at 154, which been competitive for years, and people don't give him no kind of credit. And he went through and plucked belt one by one from everybody. So
who did Jamel Charlo fight?
Who
did Jamel Charlo fight to take those belts?
Jamel Harris.
Castaño.
He fought Brian Castaño.
Who did Brian Castaño fight that you remember?
He fought Mark Teixeira. He fought Erislandy Lara and actually boxed the shit out of Erislandy Landa. Like that's two names right there. So I mean we could play that game, but see that's that's what we call doing a typewriter. I asked you when I be asking, okay, how is they gonna do it? Don't give me their accolade. I just told you that Devin got emailed a strap when he could have fought Loma. This is what I don't like doing. He could have fought Loma. Mauricio Sulaiman said it was a period of like 3 weeks where he could have fought him. You know what Devin did? He got a dude from over there in Puerto Rico, Alberto Santiago, and pulled his ass over here. And his first time fighting in the U.S. to actually put a defense on that strap when he really could have fought Loma. They was all in the tournament, and when they was in that tournament, T.O. was in the tournament. It was a couple people. T.O. and Devin was in there, but then T.O. got out of the tournament. You know what T.O. did? T.O. went and beat Richard Comey for the IBF. That entailed a rehydration clause.
Yeah, I was at that
time,
fight. I was at that fight.
So yes, and at that time, Richard Comey was somebody. Richard Comey was a striker for real. Like he could punch. You know, so
I got a picture with Richard.
So he went and did that to Richard Comey to get a strap to get in the path of Lomachenko. Devin didn't do that. You know what he did? He let him go to war. He let Lomachenko go to war with all those people I named earlier before he got in. And arguably, right before he fought Devin, a dude named Jermaine Ortiz arguably beat him. That's what I be trying to say. So we can go over how he got it, because what he did was he fought George Kambosos one time and got undisputed. That will never happen in the history of boxing again. There will never be a time when somebody can fight somebody one time and get a strap ever again. That's how he got that strap. Yes, he did go on and fight Loma. He got a defense. He defended it. He defended it against Kambosos, right? And then he defended it against Lomachenko, and then he moved up. But at the time when he fought Lomachenko, he was the size of a middleweight, and Lomachenko still almost beat him.
Devin by outclass, Devin by masterful performance, Devin by 12. Like, I got Devin, man. I got.
But
Devin.
how?
I got Devin by decision.
Well, what is he gonna do? That's what I mean. You the boxer. You gotta school us.
I'm not gonna get too deep in it. He's gonna get his decision when he should be able to show his footwork, his IQ, his jab. He should have his hands up. If he runs, he fucking runs. I don't care. This ain't the guy I always watch. I just know he's gonna beat Brian Norman. And Brian Norman, hey, can I speak on how I feel about Brian? Ain't no beef, ain't no nothing, and ain't none of that. I don't got nothing negative to say about Brian Norman. I just feel as though he's not going to beat Devin Haney, and that's it. Brian Norman is, again, a tremendous fighter, a great talent. He on his way up in the sport, and I wish him nothing but the best. I don't got nothing against Brian Norman. He's a great talent. So I just feel like he can't beat Devin, man. Devin done enough to where I feel like it's proven. I feel like it was a moment where everybody was fans of Devin Haney. I'm talking about everybody, and I was the one that was hating on Devin Haney. This is the fight that I'm not hating on him on. I just think he's going to do it against Brian Norman. And I feel like he might run that. I think that they'll have that Ring magazine on the side waiting too. You feel me? Word. Like,
I hear you. I ain't mad at you neither.
And I hope you get your money back, man. I hope you can pull out of that bet, because the nigga is going night, bro. And like, man, we'll be here to talk about it. Afterward, just like when Ryan busted that ass. I was telling everybody right before we was actually on Smoke section, when I actually was telling everybody, I said, yeah, it's the first time we don't have all them advantages just like usual. This is gonna be the second time where you don't have all those advantages. It's gonna be the same result, only minus the
you can't win a fight. You can't. Hey, one thing I want to teach when it comes to boxing is you can't win a fight with one thing, and if all you got is power, that ain't gonna cut it, bro.
But that's the myth, and see, that's other myth that everybody's telling Devin Haney, that that's all Brian Norman got. If that's all he had, then he wouldn't have won the fights when he actually had a bad hand. All them fights that he had a bad hand. So until he got his other hand fixed, that he went on to start knocking people out.
Brian Norman,
it wasn't just power.
Bro, but y'all sitting here rapping like this man is Brian Norman is so proven and he just so this. That's what's blowing me, bro. Like,
he's the welterweight champ. Like, do you realize that Devin going into this, he's the challenger, moving up to the guy?
It does not matter. Beside all you know, but you still gonna get the victory, Dad. Point blank, period.
Well, I mean, you like you said, like everybody hating on Devin and you hating on Brian Norman, so it's even. So I mean, you don't even want to tell us he just gonna do it by masterclass. He just gonna do it. He didn't do it by masterclass with Jose Ramirez. Okay. Like, he ran. His feet was barely even set to get the good quality jab. Like, he was so busy worrying about what was coming back against a fucking Jose Ramirez. So what do you think he gonna do when a nigga in there that can like put his motherfucking spleen off in the first row or knock his head off in the stands? He gonna be moving too much.
Brian Norman ain't gonna do nothing. This all sound good though, fellas.
Man, I hope you, like I say, I hope you don't lose too much, man. Get some of that bread back, man.
Hey, so let me ask you this: do you have enough confidence to put some cheese up?
Yeah, how much you want to put up?
Or whatever you want to do, man. I was telling niggas earlier, I'm trying to bet 100 or more just to prove the point like that, because that's how confident I am.
100 then. We got 100. I got 100 on it.
I believe
Okay.
what I was
Let's
saying.
do
I
it.
think I went out real quick, but I was like,
Hey, but we
believe.
gonna text more and talk about it. So let's do it.
But boom,
serious.
I'm saying it
I'm
like
dead
this.
serious.
I respect your opinion. A part of me rocks with
I'm
your
dead
opinion.
serious.
That
But, hey,
part
man,
of me
y'all
that's
having a
still
good
a
day
Devin
today?
Haney fan. But what I'm saying is this. I've said over and over again that, you know, there's this tiny part of me that wants to be wrong. I'm dying inside that tiny little part that says, bro, you wrong. Devin's going to do this. He's going to show up. This been the weight you said he should be at for the longest and stuff like that.
Can y'all hear me?
But then, yeah, we can hear you. But then on the opposite side of that coin, the part of where now I'm being rational about it. And I'm saying to myself, all right, looking at his last fight, looking at the fight before that, and then even looking at the fight before that with Regis, have you shown me that you moving up to this guy's weight class? And I'm looking at the training videos, and he hasn't had the opportunity to really showcase everything that he's got going on and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, everything that I feel Devin needs to do to beat Brian Norman, I'm seeing Brian Norman do those things in this current. This is not, I'm not going back to 3 fights ago, 4 fights ago. I'm talking about videos of Devin Haney currently training for this fight and Brian Norman currently training for this fight. And if I'm only seeing you operate within a 4x4, you feel what I'm saying? Just like Terrence Crawford just dropped a video where he was talking about sparring and how you train. How you spar and how you train is how you fight. And how I'm looking at this dude, everything he's doing is telling me you're going into this fight to do that thing, because it looks just like the type of training you did with Ryan Garcia. And if you're going there to do it with this guy, bro, I'm just looking at you like, why? The fuck is wrong with you? Who's telling you to do this stupid shit? You're not a knockout artist. Don't even attempt to be a knockout artist, because it's not what you do. You're a boxer. Get the boxer's knockout, the TKO. Go for that.
And AC, let me add something too, man. Like, Boom is proof that I told you the other day when we was having a conversation. Bud gonna get a lot of people fucked up in the game, man. It's like a lot of people gonna try to follow in them footsteps and do it like Bud, but they're not Bud. That's like one of Shakur's problems right now. Devin is not Bud. His accolades are not gonna show up. He was not showing, because I was actually blind to this fact. And Roy Jones, I give Roy Jones credit for being one of the best ones to explain this. When Roy Jones was asked, he said, man, it used to make him upset because when he was asked about Bud and Spence, right, he said that he liked both guys. He said he just was, since he was commentating and having to commentate Bud's fights, over the years, he saw Bud have to do different things to win fights. Earl was one that he always saw to where he could pressure. He pretty much put pressure, and like he was a pressure fighter, a dominant pressure fighter, and he would just cave in. He would make people cave into their will. So he said the whole time, he said he hated the fact that Earl always thought that he was hating on him when he would pick Bud. But he said it wasn't because of a bias or anything. He said, man, no, I seen Bud have to use lateral movement. I seen him have to fight off the back foot. I seen him put pressure. I seen him do all these different things, switch and do all these other things, right? He said Earl, all he saw for the most part was Earl fight one way. He said all he saw was Earl pretty much fight one way. He said, so as much as he liked both guys, he had always picked Bud. He knew Bud was actually going to beat Earl. I was like the same way. I saw Earl and I was just like, man, I always knew that, man. If you get in a fight with Earl and you try to exchange with him, Earl's gonna get the better of the exchange. He's gonna break you down. He'll take one to get one. He had a beard. He do relentless body work. That's why I liked him. So I always thought, I said, man, with how stubborn he is, Bud gonna try to get in there and try to exchange with him, and that's what's gonna be a wrap. We didn't know that Earl was how he was when it happened. So when it happened, like Bud put a lot of people on notice with that. He created a lot of people. He turned a lot of people into believers. That didn't have anything to do with like the off the like the matchups and all of those things, right? But what just happened is this, because you joked about it, because we're getting ready to happen at 160.
Yeah.
If Laura and them get together and they do that unification, if Laura and them get together and they do that unification, and Bud pop out the woodworks and have to fight one of them, or wait till Adamas get in the mix and fight one of them for that strap and he jump down, the same way Boots is doing right now, to where they're giving Boots pretty much carte blanche. They pretty much saying Boots ain't got to do nothing. He could just sit around and call out Bud, and he don't got to do no heavy lifting because he just got that talent and he's the next one. So they're going to grant him that privilege to be able to jump up. Everybody is not going to be able to jump up like that and do that. And accolades are not going to mean the same thing. Just because you accomplish something down here is not like Bud. I'm telling you, Bud is the exception to the rule. He's not the rule. And it's going to fuck a lot of people up. A lot of people are thinking because Devin, because he got Undisputed, and it's like they don't even know the history of Undisputed. They don't even know the history of the fights, when he took the fights, the matchups, the backstory to win, like how he was successful with all these fights. If everywhere I go, I got all the advantages, like we don't know what you are. We know how you fight. You have the potential, but it's also a saying that you're only good at your last performance. If you go back and you look at the last performance, I can say that Arnold Barbosa actually watched Jose Ramirez better than Devin did. And that was his last performance. So I believe that in trying to follow Bud or trying to think or channel your inner Bud, it's like, yeah, dare to be great and do those things, but it's going to be a lot of these young guys looking at the Bud thinking they're going to be able to do the same thing he did, and they're going to get their asses busted.
Now, the thing for me, I think, for me, is the most telling to a large degree is every fight up till this fight, I made the argument the same fashion that I'm making for Brian Norman. I said, this is how Devin beats him. This is what Devin's going to do to beat him because these are the flaws I see. You feel what I'm saying? And in this fight, out of all of Devin's career, out of all of his career, and when Body was talking about earlier and Pop was talking about earlier when we was on the Murderers Row, when it was Devin and Ryan, I still was picking Devin over Ryan. You feel what I'm saying? So this is the first fight in this dude's career since I've been following this dude that I'm 100% adamant, and I feel like I'm 100% secure in saying, listen, I believe, I'm sure Devin doesn't make it to the bell in this fight. I just don't see how he manages to survive without running. And then I'm pretty sure that these refs, and going into this whole situation, these refs are going to be on their job for the two flaws Devin looks like he has. And one of the flaws, it amazes me that now all of the people that I used to see complain about this one flaw of Devin Haney, now they're talking about Devin Haney as he's this new fighter. And the same guys that I'm seeing say this stuff like he's this new fighter, and they want to go to what Bill said in the video of Debo Dev and try to bring that back. You are the same guys who said no, Devin Haney's biggest problem is, and I don't know why the refs don't constantly take points away from him. He's a scared fighter because the minute you get close to him, he's gonna start clinching like a motherfucker. Look at how much he clinched Cambosis. Look at how much he clinched Loma. And then even in the Regis fight, he had the size difference and blah, 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 and he was still clinching in that fight. It was just Ryan wouldn't let him clinch. That's why he couldn't clinch Ryan, and that's why he was put on his ass bag like that. So I'm sitting there listening like, okay, all right. So now all of a sudden, he's shown y'all in some mysterious fight that he's actually back. Devin don't clinch no more. He's not looking to clinch. Every one of his flaws is actually fixed. Yes, Brian Norman is not the most technical fighter, but the thing that I like about him is, okay, you're telling us and you're asked this stuff directly and you're saying, yes, when the fans criticize me, I'm not gonna yell and trip out on the fans and tell the fans they don't know what the fuck they talking about unless it's just something egregious. But I look at my own fights and I go over my own fights, and if I feel that there's, me, my team in the camp is always saying that, yeah, there's some things that need to be improved on. He's like, I'm a young fighter. I don't know everything. And there are things that I know I got to improve on. And as I grow, I'll be improving on those things and facing those things and challenging those things as I keep stepping up in levels of competition and making a big fight. Okay, listen to Dev answer the same question. No, I don't feel like there's anything that I really need to change. I just want to be in the ring with guys that I know is going to give me a fair fight. Bro, are you serious? So you feel everything you do is rock solid perfect. That the only thing that you're wishing for in the ring is to be able to get in the ring and have a fair fucking fight. Bro, I'm still a fan of yours, but I'm hoping that this loss knocks some real sense into you so you can be the Devin Haney I always thought you was going to be. And having one loss to a Brian Norman is going to age extremely well.
This loss could finish him, AC.
Yes, it could finish him. Yes, that's that real possibility. But it could finish him if he takes the loss without grace. It could finish him if he stays on that entitled bullshit and then says, and then starts making excuses and shit like that. And then wants to start talking shit from the outside. Yeah, you're going to be finished. But if you take it graciously, like, yeah, I think I underestimated the guy. He's a hell of a talent, a lot more tougher than I thought, a lot more skilled than what I thought. And, he's going to be a great champion. And I just look to correct some of my mistakes and hopefully face the guy again in the future. You go out like that, people will say, yeah. I can't wait to see Dev come back. And now you set up your comeback fight or the fights that you're looking to make as your comeback fight. But if you don't do shit like that, and you say, well, no, it was a tough camp, and I think I had a hangnail on the toe next to my big toe. So yeah, every time I tried to step in with my jab, that little hangnail was bothering me and things like that. And my manicurist, she just cut my nails too much. So I'm going to sue her. I'm going to sue the pedicure guy. If you do all of that stupid shit, then bro, you are done.
Hey, salute Rich Porter. Let Rich Porter say something. He been waiting for a second. Go ahead, Rich.
Go ahead, Rick. I was going to ask ACC.
Now I see the fight. It's a 50-50 fight. For real, it kind of remind me of that old Zab versus Floyd kind of vibe to it. But I think it's gonna be 50-50. If I had to put my money on somebody, I'd pick Haney. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Haney. He ain't the most popular, but he fought on a high level before. Norman could catch him, put him down. I mean, that's possible. That's any fight, but I like Haney because it's experience, and then I think he's gonna be a little better fighting at a bigger weight, a more complete weight. I think he's gonna be a whole lot better. So we just have to see, though, for real.
So to get a better understanding of why you feel this way, I'm gonna ask you, what are your keys to victory for Devin to beat Brian Norman?
The keys to victory, because I like Devin when he fight behind his jab, he nice and his footwork is real good. And everybody be caught up on power. Power don't always win. We done seen plenty of boxers out box power punchers. When they can't land that power, do they got a plan B? Can they box with the boxer? And that can become a problem for Norman if he can't get that hook off that everybody keep talking about. So that's the thing.
So you think it's gonna be like a UD, you think it's gonna be a decision, Rich?
I mean, it got a chance to look like the Regis fight. It got a chance to look like that, but at the same time, I think Norman, I give him a little more than Regis. He a little bigger than Regis, and I don't think he just gonna, fold like that. I think he'll go for broke before he just go out like Regis.
Now, AC.
Yeah.
All that you said about why you think Devin ain't gonna win the fight, I want to know why you think Brian Norman is gonna win the fight.
Well,
real quick.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it as short as I can, and I'll tell you my keys to victory for both of them. All right.
You already gave me the ones to Devin. I just want to know why you think.
No, I'm gonna say it because then I want people to understand that in general, I don't see a path, but I see a possible path for Devin. But the reasons why I believe Brian Norman is going to beat Devin Haney in this fight is because as I'm looking at the things that these guys are working on, right? Mm-hmm. And these are just snapshots of what they're doing at that moment on that day. It's not their full training regimen. You feel what I'm saying? When I look at Brian Norman, I see him in almost all of his fights. He's working on footwork. He's working on footwork, working on how to cut off the ring. You feel what I'm saying? And he's doing things like chasing the bag. And that was one of the keys to victory. Why, when I was talking to dudes in the past, why Bud beats Errol Spence, I said because I never see Errol Spence chasing the bag. And if you're a solid finisher that's got that footwork and that IQ, that's a fundamental thing you should have learned is to chase the bag. When I look at Devin Haney versus Brian Norman, every video that I'm seeing of Brian Norman, he's chasing the bag. When I look at the things that he's working on a double and triple jab, as well as combinations. When at least if it's a 4-punch combination, 3 of those punches are to the body. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, his strategy is while you're coming up, I'm going to beat the shit out of your body. I can take your body shots. I believe I can take your body shots, but I don't know if you can take mine, and you're not really accoladed to this weight, and you've never been in there with a puncher like myself. You feel what I'm saying? So I see him working on his jab, his footwork, and things like that. You never see anybody necessarily working on defense because these are things that you see guys tending to want to keep to themselves. When I look at Devin Haney's training videos, I see him doing the things that I say gets him knocked out. If Dev tries to clinch Brian Norman, I believe Brian Norman is strong enough. And this is where power comes in. If a guy likes to clinch and he's trying to clinch you, you can break the clinch. And as you step back or he tries to step back, you step in and catch him. You can easily piece the dude because Devin has a habit of, after he does certain things, he doesn't bring his hands up all the way. And then it's like, oh yeah, I got to bring my hands up. It's always looked like he's thinking that, oh shit, I forgot to bring my hands up. Now for me, my keys to victory for Devin Haney is you have to be able to constantly disrupt Brian Norman's timing. Do not let this guy get the ability to get your timing. That means, to a certain degree, and I know this is going to be weird me saying this because you are not the guy that I'm going to be talking about. You have to really study the Terrence Crawford versus Canelo fight. And if you could really study and master how and understand how he beat Canelo, then I think that's your key to beating Brian Norman, as well as really, really working on your jab and things like that. You feel what I'm saying? Your last fight, your jab wasn't as accurate as it's been. It was like a third of what you did versus Ryan and what you did versus Regis. So for some reason, your jab has gotten worse. You got to get that back, because the double and triple jab to a puncher like that is your key to get him off, have him kind of shell up and try to go into a defensive stand. And Brian Norman, you feel me? When situations like that happens, based on his last couple of fights, he gets a little discombobulated. So if you could throw the double and triple jab on your way in and control him from the distance to mid-range, and then when you see him discombobulated, you step in on him, boop, 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 do some inside work, hit him with something on your way back out. Shit like that is going to frustrate him, and then he's going to start walking more and trying to wing punches. That's where you're going to slide up under, because he's not going to be looking at that timing. So at the end of the day, he has to be the most technically sound Devin Haney that we've ever seen. It has to be the Devin Haney.
I don't agree with that.
It has to be the Devin Haney that when we saw that joint with him in the Mayweather camp, when he was throwing those double and triple jabs, you have to be that guy. If you try to be anybody that fought Regis or Ryan, you are going to get knocked the fuck out. Period.
Now that ain't true, because we done seen Norman get outboxed. He just
outboxed him and he's undefeated.
Boca Chica, they took the fight off the record. He dropped him and everything. Go look it up. He dropped him and everything.
Was the man disqualified?
That's
why I was taking it off the record,
because of somebody. I want to say he was bleeding or something like that, and they made it a no contest. It wasn't a disqualification.
So who was bleeding? Was it Brian Norman or was it both of them?
I want to say it was Brian Norman. It was one of them was bleeding too bad where they took the fight off the record.
Okay, so you want to bring up one fight as opposed to...
No, I got more than one fight.
Okay, so go.
I watch boxing. The Boca Chica fight, he was getting outboxed. The Quentin Randall fight, he was getting outboxed. Them two fights right there where you can clearly see that you don't have to be the most technically sound to outbox him. A technically sound guy will really outbox him.
But I think he got a UD. I think he got a UD over. I'm about to look it up, but he got a UD over the second guy you just mentioned.
Boca Chica?
No, Quentin Randall. That was a UD. I'm like, how you get a UD over some? How you get outboxed but get a UD? I'm about to confirm though.
I think he beat he beat Quentin Randall. He beat Quentin Randall.
But you said he was getting outboxed, but he got a UD though.
He was getting outboxed. Bro, go look at that fight. But Quentin Randall was getting him early in that fight. Go look at it.
Oh, early.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Oh, okay. You got
bro. I'm not shitting on Norman. I'm not shitting on. I'm just telling dude that you don't have to be the most technically sound because Norman is a brawler.
Okay.
So if you technically sound, you can kind of outbox him.
Okay.
If Norman catch you, then that's different. Because if he catch you, he can come downhill on you and it's game over.
All right. So let's actually look at some
things and
put it in context. Let's put it in context for you though, right? Both Quentin Randall and Boca Chica were fights that were actually before his hand surgery, before he corrected that hand surgery.
He got the hand surgery after. He got that after that Centillion, right?
Yeah. So he got a KO. So he got he knocked out Centillion, right? And I think the hand, right? So that's during the time where he was complaining about his hand and knowing that he's got to get that hand surgery, right?
Correct.
So, okay, he may not have had great performances at that particular point. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the same thing I told what's the name? Was when he was asked a question, and they were talking about his skill set and talking about his level of competition and supposedly levels and all of this shit that Devin Haney and Bill is talking about, he basically said everybody has to have their chance, and when they get that chance, you'll find out if they're him or not.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you bring up that argument, or when anyone brings up that argument, and you're telling me about this guy's thing, and then when I mention that to you, that says he's even aware of it, so what is your point? Because he's aware of that. He's 100% aware of that. So if he's aware of that thing, does that mean he's gonna not train as hard as he should? Is he gonna stop training because he's just gonna feel, you know what, there's no way I win because YouTube and everyone says I haven't faced anybody, so I'm just gonna go in there to lay down? Or is this my time to shut up all the naysayers, come out with what is perceived to be the upset, you feel what I'm saying, and put everybody on notice that y'all thought I was X, Y, and Z, but this is who the fuck I really am?
I mean,
are we not going to give him that? Are we not going to give him that? But we're just going to give Devin out of his performance.
Hell nah.
And his most recency bias performance, we're going to say Devin Haney is the guy that's automatically going to win this fight.
Hell nah. Anybody that's saying Devin gonna automatically win this fight, they just fanned out. This is a 50-50 fight all day.
Okay, I can agree. I can give you that talking point. I can give you that all day. You feel what I'm saying?
Now, motherfucker can have who they gonna pick, like, you know, because I like him, whoop. But this is a 50-50 fight, period.
Yeah, they both never faced the likes of each other.
Right.
So if for me, that's where the 50-50 starts and it almost pretty much ends. Then it comes down to nitpicking at certain things. What box you check off.
Right.
So we can all agree it's a real 50-50 fight. But then once we start nitpicking and putting shit up under the microscope and checking different slides and adding different solution to the slides to see what reaction we go, and we're recording the results, then that's where I'm actually residing right now. Because now that I put everybody under the microscope, it's almost becoming like, God damn. And I did the same thing with Diego Pacheco, which pissed off everybody that I was actually fucking with from B&B. Because I was like, bro, Diego Pacheco is going to beat So Cold. They're like, So Cold just do this, he do that. Yo, that's crazy. You even saying that? How you?
That was a mismatch.
Huh?
That was a mismatch.
But it's the type of fight that I called out that I was like, look, for a young fighter, that's where Diego Pacheco is. You're not supposed to call out So Cold. And for a fighter where So Cold is, at his age and everything, you're not supposed to look at a young lion like Diego Pacheco. But the mere fact that they made that fight, and then I literally had to go back and look at resumes and look at everything and see what type of footage that I could find on both of them. Once I spent my day and a half on doing that, I was like, bro, I think niggas gonna be mad at me, but there is no fucking way I'm picking So Cold to beat Diego Pacheco.
Hell no.
There's no way. You feel what I'm saying?
I got a question for Rich. Looking at that last fight that Devin had with Jose Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
We came on and we said, man, we were looking for answers because Devin took his year off. You know, we gave him the mulligan because of the Osterine, right? We wrote it off.
Right.
And when the fight was over, we walked away with more questions than answers. Like, once you saw Jose Ramirez and the way he performed in the Jose Ramirez fight, what was your take? How did you feel about Devin immediately after that fight?
I thought he could have engaged a little more. Could have sat down on something on a lot more instead of moving the way that he did. He could have jabbed. He could have did a whole lot more in that fight. I mean, they threw the fourth least amount of punches in the fight. So I mean, he could have did a whole lot more. But also Ramirez could have did more too. You know, it's a two-way street. They was both in the ring. But I think a lot of that had to do with from that last fight. I think they was shaking off some rust. I think Dad was trying to avoid the left hook. I ain't gonna sit here and make it like I think he was scared to take a shot. But the first couple of rounds against Norman would tell us everything. If he on his bike like he was in that last fight, then shit, expect that. If not, then we shall see.
So let's just say hypothetically, because I have a strong notion that after the first time, he might come out there and pose a little bit. But I think that after the first real contact, we're gonna be seeing the same thing. Do you think he will be awarded a victory if he fights like that?
Depending on the type of fight that he do like that. Like if he peppering from the outside, 1-2, getting in and out, shit like that, yeah. But if he just moving around the ring and Brian giving him something offensively, I think they're gonna lean towards Brian because he is the champion. You gotta beat the champ. That last fight was some Ramirez shit, whatever, catchway shit, whatever. You gotta beat the champion.
Okay. You sound pretty level-headed, man. I mean, I can't knock it.
Nah, man, man, one thing I don't do is just pick a fighter and be yeah, but I don't just shit on a fighter because everybody don't like him neither. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but you talking to a huge Devin Haney fan. I mean, I don't know if you was here earlier when I was saying this is the first fight since I've been watching Devin Haney that I'm like, he's not gonna win this fight, and I think he gets knocked out. I'm almost sure he gets knocked out.
I don't think he gets knocked out. I don't think so.
It's just, for me, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, I have not seen improvement in Devin Haney's skill set. Yes, he looked sharp against Regis. Yes, you know, he looked sharp, you know, and very impressive against Kambosos in those first two fights. But I have not seen improvement in his technique since Zura Abdullaev. So when it comes down to it, when I look at, okay, if I'm going to say go back to each one and go back 5 fights and says, in those 5 fights, who's shown me more improvement and technical improvement? That box is 100% checked by Brian Norman. Has he improved this? Has he improved that? Has he improved that? Has he improved that? Has he improved that? All of those questions I'll ask, Brian Norman gets those boxes. When it comes down to Dev, and I had to do the same thing, I may give him a box of improving on how to avoid a shot. Other than that, there's nothing else that I'm going to give him.
I don't know. I mean, if you had to ask me that same question, I say with Brian Norman, I think more of his stamina. He able to last 12 rounds because at first he wasn't going 12s, he was doing 10s, and you can see him kind of gassing out. You can see he kind of championship ready as far as that. And then as far as Devin, improvements, I can say Devin, outside of that last fight, because even in the Ryan fight, before he started getting caught with the left, he was winning. He was looking kind of good. We ain't never really just seen outside of that Ryan fight, Devin just take shots like that. So that's why it's kind of hard to say improvements. We got to see how he fight against Norman. Like my man said, if he might catch one from Norman and react different. Or he might still stand in the paint. You know, we don't know because we can say what we want. He got up all 3 times. That fight went 12 rounds. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, we got to see.
Well, let me ask you something, man, because we've been talking about. I just want to have some fun with this, man. I want to have some fun, and then at least we 3 weeks away, so we'll probably have a couple more episodes like this. But we don't do the same show every day. We like talk about different boxers. Mm-hmm. Since you up here, we're gonna ask you about Because that's part of the Night of Champions cards. What do you think about? You could choose any one of these. What do you think about the Benavidez and Yard? What do you think about the Abdullah Mason and Noakes? And what do you think about the Lubin? This is not on the Night of Champions, but that Lubin, the Lubin Ortiz or the Stephen Fulton and Oshaki, any one of them. Like, what's your take on these fights we got coming up?
I'm gonna start with that Foster Fulton fight. I like that. I like that one. That's gonna be. I like that fight. That's gonna be a clash. Again, a brawler versus boxer. But Foster got a bag though. You know what I'm saying? Foster got a bag. I like that. That's a 50-50 fight right there. I like to see Fulton pull that out, become a 3-division champ, but at the same time, Foster standing hard in that paint. You know what I'm saying? So that's a 50-50. That Lubin Ortiz fight, I like the upset. I like Lubin. Because Lubin tested, man. You know, he done been in there with Charlo, Fundora. He done fought at the top level before. You know what I'm saying? This is really Ortiz's first real step up there. If he pull this off, then that makes him in that Boots fight even bigger, you know. But I like Lubin in the upset. As far as the championship, the Night of Champions, that's Sam Nukes and Abdullah Mason. I like Mason to win that fight, but Nukes is cracking. And he coming forward. Nukes is a puncher, you know, and he got that Olympic style with him. So that's an interesting fight right there. But I like Mason. As far as that Bam, I like Bam Rodriguez against I forgot dude's name. I like Bam.
Martinez.
Yeah. I like Bam in that fight. That Yard and Benavidez. I don't really see no motherfucker at 75 beating Benavidez, maybe outside of Bivol. You know, I don't really see nobody beating him at 75 though. Like, especially if he get to coming downhill on you, like applying that pressure. Benavidez a bad motherfucker, man. Like,
nah, I'm a fan of
I ain't gonna fake with you, bro. Like, I don't see a motherfucker beating dude. Like, you gotta be that to beat that dude. That's a big motherfucker, man. And he can move. He got a mean stick on him, like a chin on him. Like, he a bad motherfucker.
Bro, I listen. When Benny was first talking about, now you're gonna hear this from me, and I'm a big fan of both of these guys. Like, literally, this is like the ultimate 50-50 for me. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's more of a 50-50 fight for me than Dev versus Brian. And the reason why I say that is because I've always said, if I'm gonna feel that David Benavidez could actually beat a Beterbiev or Bivol, he got to go through Anthony Yard, or at the very least, give me a Buatsi fight. You feel what I'm saying? Now, for me, Anthony Yard, when you talk about Benavidez competition, Anthony Yard actually been in there with two official boogeymen that have like an impressive ass knockout streak.
And they both broke him.
You feel what I'm saying? But his performance, those wins are not like, oh, he should hang it up. He gave his all, and those are what we call good losses. Excellent losses, because
right.
You lost, but you fought your motherfucking heart out that if there was a rematch, people would be like, yeah, I'll watch that shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the body work he was giving to Kovalev, it's the thing that people feel fucked up about you. They love you, but they like, bro, you and Tunde got to start, running, doing some road work. Get that man conditioning up, because theoretically, when he came in, it should have been his division to take.
But see, the thing about Yard, can you hear me?
Yeah.
See, the thing about Yard, he nice. I like Yard, but he leave himself wide open.
For Benavidez, it's like, Benny, you're up there. You got the stamina. You've shown us you got that engine. You've shown us you got your beard is a little questionable at times. You took them shots from Morrell, but you've been dropped by other dudes that, you know, or I mean other dudes that haven't whatever. And I think he was dropped by Morrell, right?
No, he slipped.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean it was a drop, but it was like a shoulder. He got dropped twice for sure. He got dropped. He
got dropped by Gravel. That I remember.
Yeah. So my point is, in my opinion, the two guys who dropped them don't have that smack like Anthony Yarde. That dude is built to knock your fucking, like, to smack bark off of trees and shit. You feel what I'm saying? But he's got a conditioning problem, and number two, they don't work on that conditioning for the most part. So if the fight goes past 7-8, that's Benny's best chance at winning the fight. As long as it's in the early rounds, David Benavidez, you're in the danger zone.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm at a. Oh, go ahead.
My bad, bro.
No, go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say, I think, see, the thing about Yarde, he nice, but he just be wide open, and he wide open a lot. And I think David can catch him in between them shots. And like you said, if it go late, David gonna get to walking him down. And shit, once David start walking you down, it's over with.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is I'm done picking against Benavidez. The only one that I would say got a shot is Bivol, because Bivol is one of my guys, hard body. Like I don't think nobody right now. I don't really think nobody can beat Bivol, you know. But I'm done picking against David Benavidez. He's proven me wrong. I mean, it could happen because I think he's still getting accustomed to 175, so he'll get better. You know what I'm saying? I think as he carry that weight a little bit better and he work on his stamina. But with his engine, his output, and something about him tells me that he might not crack that hard, but it's something about people don't want to take too many of them. Like it's like he might not got that one punch knockout power, but like you're not gonna want to take 3 or 4 of them at a time. And like when he started cranking up, people start making business decisions. Like, nah, I'm not gonna get hit with a bunch of them. I can't afford to do that. And as time go on, he kind of like breaks you. So I don't really think nobody can really touch him except for Bivol. I think Bivol is just too disciplined. His boxing IQ is just, it's different. It's different to me. I think he's too defensively responsible. I think that he puts out enough offensive output to keep you honest and to keep you moving to where you can't maximize your leverage when you hit him. He's just smarter. He's just smarter than most of the people that he's in there with. And that's the only one I would see giving them trouble. Yarde punches chance early on, but as it gets late, I think it gets ugly.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I'm in the same boat. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm in the same boat. Later, if Yarde can't get him out of there within 7, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is about to get real bad for Anthony Yarde. Because 6-7 is usually when David Benavidez, you know, hits the Nas button.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain, Rich, man. You sound pretty reasonable, man. You sound pretty reasonable, man. I can't argue with nothing you said, man, except for the only one I'm strong is the topic of the night, and I don't see Dev. But outside of that, everything else you said, I agree with it all. That means, you know, you got a level head as far as boxing, like looking at it like that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I for sure. I mean, the GOAT to me is James Toney, but you know.
Oh, see, that's my guy. That's my guy. Now you talking my language.
That's the GOAT.
That's so you in the same position with me where our hearts are broken because he didn't take that Roy Jones fight as serious as he should have.
Roy didn't give him the rematch at 68. Roy Post gave me a rematch. And I'm going to tell you another fight. I'm hard. I never got him and Bernard.
Yeah.
Him and Hopkins at 75. They're supposed to run that.
But I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. I'm gonna say it like this: the mere fact of him eating ice cream and fried chicken and shit like that going into the Roy Jones fight, I was just like, you know, after he lost, and you know, some of my some people that I knew was like, yeah, Roy should give him a rematch. I was like, why not? Why should he? If you would have did what you were supposed to do and took the fight as serious as you should have took it the first time around, we ain't talking no rematch. We would be talking Roy should get the rematch. Should Roy get the rematch? I wanted to see the best James Toney fight the best Roy Jones.
Hell yeah.
And you didn't give me that because your arrogance and the mere fact that you knew that Roy wasn't as technically sound as you, but that athleticism is the shit that got him over the top a lot. So you tried to sleep on that, and you completely underestimated this dude to whereas his boxing skills showed up and his athleticism showed up, and that was a recipe for disaster for you, bro. And I think if you was well prepared for that fight would have looked a hell of a lot different. I can't say who would have won, who would have actually lost, or whether history would have been rewritten or anything like that, but at least we would have had something far more momentous than what we actually saw.
Yeah. All right, well shoot, we're gonna wrap it up here in a set. We're gonna wrap it up, man. We can wrap it up with this. Give me your takes on Janabek and Laura, Pitbull versus Lamont Roach, and like what's Boots? Where's Boots at right now, and what should he be doing going forward? And we can wrap up with that, man. I think that'll be a good little closure to this whole video, man. This whole live.
You said Janabek, Laura, Roach, yeah. Pitbull, and then Boots.
What's going on with Boots? Yeah, where's Boots at? What should he be doing? Or what?
I like Laura in that Janabek Laura fight because Janabek got stamina problems. And then I like in that Pitbull Roach fight, that's 50-50. And then Boots, get some names. That's all he need to be chasing is names. Like,
okay.
I wouldn't even chase the Crawford fight. I'll just chase names, like, because he probably ain't even gonna get the Crawford fight, so he should just chase names, build his resume, because he got a chance to be the face.
I say he should jump up and try to get Adamas. That's the only way. If he really want Bud, right. I definitely would do that. I would get with Adamas and see what they want, but I don't think he moving like that though.
Turkey can get him to fight if he wanted.
I know, but like they I believe, this is my opinion, I believe that they're just gonna ride the cloud of Bud, and you know it's gonna relieve pressure from everybody. We've been peeping this. As long as he keeps attaching it to Bud, it's just not gonna be no pressure for him to look sideways to anybody else. They're gonna be like, oh, he really want Bud, but he's gonna settle for this, and it's gonna be, you know, some sideways shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. But if he was smart with Janabek and Laura getting ready to consolidate them 3 belts, leaving just the WBC is the odd one out that Adamas have, I will put myself into that equation by going to go get Adamas. It's like, okay, so if you're gonna get Undisputed, I mean, I'm right here. At least I put my name in the hat by trying to fight Adamas. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
But lastly, if we were going to get that Keith Thurman and Fundora, what you think was going to happen in that one?
Look, man, I told everybody, see, the thing about that fight, Thurman is an outside fighter. He's not an inside fighter. He don't like the body shots. That fight was tailor-made for Fundora because he got them long arms, and Thurman gonna stay on the outside, and Fundora gonna pick him apart from out there. Thurman won't be able to get inside at all, and he's not an inside fighter. So that right there, I would have liked Fundora by a landslide. Easy.
You think anybody else can get with him, like Xander or Boots?
Yeah,
Or...
any of them can get with him because they willing to take one to come inside. They can smother his shots. That ain't the way. If you watch the way Thurman fight, that ain't how Thurman fight. Xander Zayas can smother him. I've never really seen, but everybody got this Bakram dude hyped up over beating Tim Tszyu, and we see what Tim Tszyu is. So I don't really know about him, but Xander Zayas, he can smother him. Boots can. Virgil. He fought Lubin already, but Lubin dropped him, had success against him. Like, it's a blueprint on how to get to him, but that ain't the way Thurman fight.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm gonna start with Thurman versus Fundora. I actually think the opposite. I think there's a huge gap in skills when it comes down. Yes, Thurman has now, adopted this, or he's stuck with this reputation that he doesn't like body shots. Yeah, we've seen certain glimpses of it and things like that. But when I look at Thurman's last fight and stuff like that, he's got the superior footwork. And even if he chooses to fight on the outside to mid-range, he beats Fundora easy based on his ring IQ and footwork. Fundora's just learning how to fight off of his jab. And for me, Keith Thurman is not the guy you choose. You feel what I'm saying? Whether you think it's an old fucked up Keith Thurman or whatever, and you're just learning how to fight off of your jab. When it comes down to what Boots could possibly do, me and Body cooked over this a couple of times. I'm pretty much gonna stay with what I was saying. If it comes down to where it's looking like ain't that much real action happening for him at 160, and you looking to, fight this subpar level and trying to use Bud names so it keeps the other guy's name from calling you out. And even if they do, then you're gonna send your fan base out there and say, yeah, but he wants the Bud Crawford fight, so he's just taking these fights to see if Bud Crawford is actually gonna stop being scared and fight him. So I understand that strategy because that's how it looks to me. For me, just go up to 160. You volunteered to go into the Canelo camp and spar with Canelo and stuff like that. And you said it was good work and yada, 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 this, and that. And when you look at the photograph of them, he still looked bigger than Canelo. So at the end of the day, I never campaigned for Boots to be at 54 in the first place. I thought he should go up to 60 or 68, just like he said. But, he's there. I don't know what he's going to do. Like I said, he could have used his name and recognition of his name to get the Bakaram fight and the IBF belt. You feel what I'm saying? It's still 10 or maybe 11 pound rehydration, but you're not cutting yourself down to 47. Do you feel what I'm saying? If you don't want to go after the IBF belt because your concern is the rehydration, then you don't belong at that weight class. It's just that simple for me. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. You said Stephen Fulton and O'Shaki, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's when I look at that fight, it just keeps resonating with me as one of these classic fights where we're gonna see two boxers really go at it. Two guys that are boxers. And we're just gonna see the little tangibles. Who's gonna have the better foot placement? Who's this? Who's that? It's a 50-50 fight on paper, but if again someone had to put a gun to my head and tell me to pick an opponent in this one, I probably would be leaning a bit more to O'Shaki Foster, because I think O'Shak's attitude where he is right now he's understanding certain things about this business. He's understanding certain things about his career, and you know, to go from Conceição to now a Stephen Fulton, that's a really, really good look. In his chase, in his original plan was to go this, and then I want Shakur. That's gangster right there. That's what we look for in a fighter. So I'm leaning towards O'Shaquie because I want to see where his story goes and where that level of talent and shit like that brings him. And what was the other fight? I just forgot.
Lamont Roach and Pitbull.
Oh, Roach and Pitbull. I don't think that's a 50-50 fight for me. I think Pitbull is tailor-made for Lamont Roach, and Lamont Roach is really, really gonna put the beats on him, because I think Roach is probably gonna understand that if I lose this fight to Pitbull, I'm never gonna get my rematch with Tank.
That's motivation.
I don't think he getting the rematch, win or lose. I don't think Tank even give a fuck. Like,
I think so. When I look at the dynamic of everything, I think so. We're looking at some strategic shit that Tank is setting up in conjunction with Jake Paul, to whereas he's gonna make these next two mega fights, and the two candidates that are right there, or the three candidates, could be a rematch with Pitbull. It could be Lamont Roach, the winner of that fight, and it's definitely gonna be Shakur.
Nah.
Okay. Okay, we'll see. That's my conspiracy theory, but I'm gonna hold on to it until I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath on none of them happening. Like, Tank ain't fucking with it.
All right.
I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it though. I mean, that's what he want to do, but I think he already done gave us his answers when he said, on Twitter, he said it's over with.
It might be, man. I don't know. I have to let some time go by and see how this Jake Paul, if there's some stuff going on. So I don't know, man.
Falling apart.
But I think this was a good show, man. Hey, man, we be cooking all the time. We cook about 4 or 5 times a week, man. We be at least 3. We be on here, and we're not one of them places where we talk about the same shit every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We mix it up. We talk about different boxes. Like, we had an episode about Richardson Hitchens this week. We had an episode about like what was going on with him, because we were supposed to be getting him in TO, and not sure what happened, man. But we cook about different things, man. Like 3 different things, at least 3 times. So you got a good boxing mind, man. And I like the fact that you don't agree with everything, but you know how to make your stance without getting crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate that, because we don't do yes, man. We actually like when people disagree, because it helps us to understand how different perspectives. I don't think it's enough of that out here in boxing talk. It's just a bunch of people yelling and screaming, but you can explain your shit. Like, I don't care when people disagree. I just don't like when they can't explain it.
Exactly. Like, have logic behind the shit. Don't make it where you can tell it's just biasness and hate. Like, have reasoning for your disagreement. Like, I think he gonna lose based off this, not just, I don't like him. Like, come on, man.
Bill Haney, I don't like Bill. So.
Yeah, Bill Haney ain't got in the ring and threw one punch, so he shouldn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? So
fuck up about Bill, but yo, bro, it's definitely a pleasure talking to you. You and I can tell, would have some really good, really good debates and stuff like that, because sometimes I'm talking in the manner of projecting an image that I see based on the landscape, what the landscape is showing me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm always gonna come from the perspective, and I always say this, no matter what channel I'm on, I'm always gonna come from the perspective as an educated boxing fan. You feel what I'm saying? So my perspective is 9 times out of 10 going to be from the side of a fan. I do understand the business side. I run businesses. I do a lot of other things like that. But when it comes down to the boxing stuff, I try to always keep my viewpoint as just a fan, as the fan that wants to appreciate the sport, appreciate certain things. That's why I can say, all right, if you're a guy, you're a fighter, and you're giving me your opinion, I'm gonna say, okay, I get that, because that's coming from a fighter. But from the fan's perspective, this is how we interpret that shit, because we're not in the mix of training and all of this other stuff. We fall victim to the shit that we see in the press conferences and the interviews and what he just said on his last interview and yada, yada, yada. And then all of that stuff is culminated until, all right, was the shit you talking just shit and you gonna go in there and get your ass beat, or you gonna come in there, show up and show out? So the debates and me respecting the fact that you have most of these fights as a 50-50, as a fan, I have no issue with that. You feel what I'm saying? On paper, they're all 50-50 fights. But then when it comes down to that, now I got to bring out the microscope and start looking at shit and putting in the different slides, and then reading, you know, what's inside the DNA. And that's where I could say, this is why I feel this fighter wins over this fighter. This is why I feel these business decisions are what this person is doing over this and that. You feel what I'm saying? But it was a pleasure talking to you, bro, and I hope you show up again and show up more often.
Y'all be on tomorrow?
I might, you know, I might put something out there tomorrow. It just depends, you know what I'm saying? I might
yeah, his time slot is Body's time slot is pretty much 9:15.
I'm gonna go subscribe real quick.
I appreciate you, Rich, man.
All right, for sure.
All right, man. Have a good day. Be safe out here, man. Be safe.
Yeah.
All right, man. What you want to close with, AC?
Great boxing conversation today. There was a lot of back and forth, constructive back and forth and stuff like that. Everybody made their solid points and things like that. And, you know, when it comes down to fights like this, I hope the audience can see. I can disagree with you and disagree with you vehemently, but if I can come back and give a counter argument that's based in facts and some of my opinion, then yeah, it makes for a great debate, and it's the type of thing that says, yeah, we can interlock in the conversation. You feel what I'm saying? The whole topic of Brian Norman versus Devin Haney, up until they walk in that ring, you know, it's going to be two sides of that coin. You're going to have some fans, you go to some channels, some of these fans just hate Brian Norman, and they're going to be hard body on Brian Norman. And then there's those fans that super duper hate Devin Haney. They're going to have an opinion. Then there's the fans that are on both sides. I'm a fan of both of these guys. But like I said before, this is the first fight for me in Devin Haney's career that I've been following the guy and been a fan of his, that I feel he's not going to win, and there's a strong likelihood that he's going to get knocked out or stopped. So with that being said, I respect everybody's opinion who was on the other side of that. I respect their arguments and things like that. And, you know, this is how boxing conversations should be. What you saw today is exactly how it should be. You feel me? So, old boy that Rich, who was just up here, he pretty much disagreed with damn near 80 to 90% of the shit that I said. but he came back and then he understood, and I understood where certain things overlap. That's where we agree at. We can disagree on the nuances of the thing, but overall, we still agree that it's a 50-50 fight. So, yeah, I respect that, and great show, buddy.
I appreciate it, man, as always, man. You know, we'll cook, we'll be mulling around subjects. I might come on tomorrow, just depending on what's going on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, man, well, enjoy your evening, man, until the next time.
You too, right, bro.
Peace. But yeah, man, good show, man. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be, man. I definitely don't want ordinary yes men around. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand when somebody agree with everything. You know, we need that polarity. We need diversity. It's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to agree on anything. As long as you can explain your stance and you can stand on that side and explain it, and I can stay on my side and explain it, you know what I'm saying? And we can move on to the next subject, no harm, no foul, and come back and do it all again the next day. That's what matters. And I think that's what's missing out here in this boxing, you know, world. You know, it's a niche sport. You know, we're a lot like these boxers, man. We kind of like abuse, man, because loving boxing, it takes some dedication and some passion, man. So I'll definitely say, man, I appreciate everybody who stopped by. I always say silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for grown men and women to remain silent. So we speak to those things, you know what I'm saying? Things that people might be overlooking. We give perspectives. You know, I try to use facts. I try to go over details. You know what I'm saying? I don't like aiming from the hip. I don't try to be first about a lot of things. I try to qualify a lot of information before I actually put it out, you know, because sources don't have sources. I follow the bouncing ball all along, and 90% of the time, I'm right. You know, we do have opinions, you know what I'm saying, even though they're not always right. And we're here to kind of grow and preserve the sport, man. There's a lot of toxicity out here. We might touch on some toxic subjects, but we're not toxic in our conversations, man. So tonight was the epitome of how I like my channel and how I like to do my thing, man. We had a diverse plethora of conversations. We had a good time. We had some fun. We got to laugh. We got to joke. We got to kick it. You know what I'm saying? It was all love. I hope everybody got something out of this, was able to put something in their rucksack and march on. That's all I really had for you, man. So again, salute to everybody who stopped by. And if you catch this on the playback, talk to me, holler at me. I'll talk back. But until the next time, y'all, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. We don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Body Work.